Hello, everyone. Just starting the test here because it's been a while since we ran one of these. I like the poll right now we have is what would be your bet between the White Sox and Cubs? So the White Sox are currently a 1.5 run underdog to the Chicago Cubs. And I like one of the first comments is rain. And that is something we're going to keep an eye on right now, as far as like the watch party itself. For those that are currently in playback.tv/Sox Machine, you are currently watching the Royals and Guardians right now, as far as that game. And for those that are watching on Sox Machine or on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Sox Machine, I'll be joined with our friends Beefloaf and Chirizi from the 108. You'll be able to watch this along and you can listen to us in the background of however you're going to be watching tonight's game between the White Sox and the Cubs. We have not had a watch party in a while. We'll get into that as far as on playback. And yeah, so bear with us. Yeah, we're breaking off a lot of rust. Playback was able to get a deal with the NBA, and they've been doing a lot of watch parties when coming with the NBA playoffs, and they're hopeful to add the WNBA, which has been a very hot topic, especially in the city of Chicago this week. But they're also running right now a experiment with MLB as far as a trial run. So we're helping out Playback tonight as far as how that experience would work using Major League Baseball feeds, which again, you could go to playback.tv/Sox Machine to be able to watch the game along with us. And that game is going to be starting at 7 o'clock. And as long as it doesn't rain, and that is something I'll be keeping an eye on tonight, as we are expecting some rain to come through Chicago. We'll see if it. Right now in Bridgeport, it's very sunny. It is cloudy, as you can see for those that are at playback.tv. A little more cloud coverage on the north side at Wrigley Field, but I am very happy once again to be in the watch party room on Playback with one of my friends, Beefloaf, Mr. Viral himself, Mr. Worldwide. Hello, sir. Welcome back.
What's up, buddy? It's good to be back in this space. It's been a minute, you know. Am I too loud for you? A little too loud? You good? Can't hear me? Wait, you want me to jump out? Let's see. Let me.
Okay, you're good. If I hit, and I can hear
I was gonna say the audience can hear me, so it's okay. I thought I checked everything before I came on. I usually try to have some, some audio discipline, but I wasn't sure if I was too loud. I have this. I have a couple different settings on my microphone, and some of them slide around a little bit, even if I like disable all the stuff that I don't want it to. So I have this on just like an auto setting. So I just want to make sure that I don't sound too ridiculous.
No, you sound great. As I was saying, welcome back to the watch party room, sir.
Yeah, it's exciting to be back. I mean, we had contemplated a little bit kind of remaking this, just doing a watch along with YouTube, but this is much better. This setup is much better than just like, hey, at home, watch YouTube and then listen to us dummies on the YouTube channel, so.
Well, we are doing that on YouTube. So right now we are simulcasting. So if you're watching us on youtube.com/Sox Machine or on soxmachine.com, you just see Beefloaf and I. So this is going to be like Mystery Science Theater 3000 for you. You are watching the game on whatever device on your big TV, and you can have us in the background provide additional commentary while we are watching the game together. However, you could also watch the game with us on the same feed at playback.tv/Sox Machine, which is where Beef Loaf and I currently are. So we have the same feed that we're making comments.
Trey says, I need more drinks Beef needs more drinks to watch this disaster. Yeah, well, I'm just having my first one right now. It's a little early in the day. I had the day off today, Josh. I don't know if you knew that. I also had the day off on Monday because my daughter graduated from 8th grade. And so in the morning, we went to the graduation ceremony. It was great. Chirizi and his wife were there too. My parents. Bonita cleaned up. She was upset that she wasn't in high honors. Three kids graduated with high honors, and then another dozen graduated just with honors. She graduated with honors. Then they had awards for the various different categories, science, math. But she cleaned up. She must have had 5 of the 6 awards that you could possibly win. So she had a very nice graduation. It was fun. Afterwards, we went to 11 City Diner for a nice lunch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it was a very good day on Monday. And then today, I just goofed off. Like sometimes I just take an extra day just to chill, just to do nothing.
Well, I know you, sir. You love your days off.
I do.
The feed that we have is marquee, so I don't get to watch a lot of marquee. So we have the Cubs announcers. We do not have John Shrift and Steve Stone. So definitely hit us on Twitter if either say anything interesting. I love this TV breakdown. The last 11 games for the White Sox and Cubs. These two teams are red hot right now. The Chicago Cubs are 2-9 in their last 11 games. The White Sox have an 11-game losing streak. The longest losing streak in White Sox history is 13 games, which if they get swept by the Cubs in these next 2 games, they will tie the club history record before coming into this weekend series as the Boston Red Sox visit the White Sox starting on Thursday. So more guests will be joining us. Jim Margulis of Sox Machine will be joining us later. Chirizi from the 108 will also be joining us as well. A lot to talk about during the game. We just had a wonderful weekend in Milwaukee, so we'll touch on the highlights. Beef Loaf is Mr. Worldwide now. I'm surprised you haven't been picked up on the BBC yet.
What great timing. Treasy's idea, too, to film me doing a lot of weird stuff at that, and that was the one that happened to hit. So we got lucky there, but that was fun. It was fun to see that go everywhere. It's nice to get that out of the tailgate, especially, Josh, after – the 108ers, we got freed up. We didn't have much logistical stuff to do. We harnessed the beer. That was about all the logistics we were in charge of. And so it was just do our thing. And, we got our things to hit. So it's good. Yes, there's a lot of it left over.
Yes, big shout out to Pilot Project Brewery. They have 2 locations, one in Chicago, one in Milwaukee as well. The one in Milwaukee, I didn't get a chance to stop by. It sounded amazing to be at.
It was gorgeous. If we go to Milwaukee again and we decide that a tailgate is not, we don't want to do all that, the space there, especially their outdoor rooftop space, awesome. The indoor space, if there's rain or anything, is huge. And it is almost like my wife was saying, it's almost like a spa. It's different than the normal brewery in that it does have the exposed woods and things, but it was just like this nice, calm thing. And they had it glass covered, so the sunlight poured in, even though you're kind of indoors. So you had air conditioning in there too, which was really nice. It's just a terrific facility. And they're right by the Bucs Stadium. And we were talking to the guy who was walking us around, saying they get a lot of traffic before games. Before games, they get filled up, and then people walk over there to that stadium. And so just a really nice setup. Food was good. I had a chorizo grilled cheese, actually. They had chorizo in the grilled cheese sandwich. Delicious. So, yeah, a very, very cool spot. And I want to hit the one up in Logan here. We're trying to plan to get up there, too, just to check that out. But I like the idea of the incubating brewery thing. And the Serpent, the Italian Pilsner, delicious. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was a huge hit at the tailgate. I don't have many of those left over.
I have one case of it, and so I have some in the fridge chilling right now. I'll probably drink a little bit over the weekend. We may even incorporate it into the Sunday soak. But yeah, I have a bunch of these hazy IPAs that we didn't get to, kind of because my car wasn't able to pass those out. So hopefully we'll get those amongst the people very soon for an event or otherwise.
Yeah, if you host a tailgate and you invite us over to Lot B, we will bring some beer over. And let's get started here as the Chicago White Sox will be batting, of course, at Wrigley Field. As you see Corey Julks, there's a lot to talk about as far as this game from a White Sox perspective, as everyone's a little slow right now for Cubs fans. As you can see, the first few rows behind home plate are empty as we're back to 7 o'clock starts, Beef. I got used to the 6:10 starts.
I love the 6:10. With living as close as we do, the 6:10 is beautiful because we can get to the game on time, and then it's like you're getting home. It's only 9:30. I can have second dinner, chill out on the couch, watch some Sports Center or whatever, and then get to bed at a reasonable time. It's nice.
Yeah, Corey Julks has been a big surprise for the White Sox. One, I didn't even know who he was, and then I had to research him. And of course, I try to hype him up like John Shriffen, and he strikes out. So that's the first out of the game as Corey Julks strikes out against Imanaga, who has been fantastic for the Chicago Cubs. And I want to talk more about his story as his start moves along, and we'll see how many innings he can get before any rain. But you wrote about Corey Julks from the 108.com. You wanted more Corey Julks.
I do. I think he's just the kind of guy, Josh, where it probably won't happen, but he didn't really get a shot until he was a little older. He's got the speed and power combo, so he doesn't need to hit for a lot of average to kind of make it work where he could be like a league average outfielder, just a little bit of a pop there. And so he's the exact type of guy I want the White Sox taking a shot at and given 300, 400 plate appearances kind of the rest of the way and just see what it is. It might be nothing. He's 28, but it might be something. And then you have a bunch of team control if it is. So, you get a couple more cheap years and you see how it goes.
As Andrew Vaughn with his sprained right finger singles to center field.
And a boy, Andrew.
He missed the entire Brewers series and nice exit velocity on that single, almost 104 miles per hour. And that means that Vaughn's batting average is now above 200 again. And with his sprained right finger, before all the injuries came down the pipe for the White Sox, I thought Andrew Vaughn might be going to the injury list himself, Beef Loaf. Because, again, he missed the entire weekend, and now batting is Luis Robert as he comes back for the White Sox.
Yeah, it's good to see Luis back. Josh, people in the comments are saying they cannot see the stream for some reason. So I don't know what the case is there, but yeah, it is good to see Luis back. And but I'm a little apprehensive given the comments from Pedro Grafal that he's not going to play him every day. They're going to be DHing him. So I just wonder how back he is physically. Maybe good enough to play, and maybe it's just one of these things where he's got to learn to play through this type stuff. But I'm just a little apprehensive with him coming back quickly like this.
Well, he strikes out, so great. we're off to a fantastic start with this watch party. We're trying to hype people up as Terezi is joining us here momentarily, and I am working on everybody as far as getting that fixed here.
Yeah, here's Paul DeYoung up facing Imanaga. Imanaga is interesting because it's his four-seamer that is carrying the weight here for him. And it's from a miles per hour standpoint, it's nothing exceptional. It's 92, basically 92, 93. But spin rate is off the charts, and it's just been incredibly effective for him. He can go to a lot of different other pitches to get everyone off balance. But otherwise, it's like a remarkable, unremarkable situation with Imanaga. And I like these types of stories because I like the era of the guy's a pitcher more so than the guy just blowing everyone away with 99. So for me, these types of guys are fun.
Yeah, and another strikeout. He strikes out the side. So other than a single from Andrew Vaughn, the White Sox go scoreless to the first inning. So it's 0-0 as we head to the bottom of the first inning. Terezi now joins us from the 108. Still going through many renovations in his little studio. Welcome, sir. Welcome back to the watch party.
Thank you, man. It's good to be back. I'm excited. Hopefully people can see the screen. When I jumped in, I could not, but
I'm working on that right now.
Looks like people are saying it works now.
Yeah, the comments are saying yes, and a couple people are saying they had to jump out, jump back in to get the screen. So I know that did happen sometimes back in the old days when we do it. People would jump in, and then they would have to, we got to jump back in to do it. So
I like the username, mostly here to avoid Shriffen. Welcome. John is a lot more polished than us. So
whose username is that, Jim's?
We could be helping. We could be helping John today, especially those that are watching on soxmachine.com. If you are watching a lot on YouTube while you are also watching the game on whatever device, again, we're kind of providing the Mystery Science Theater 3000 experience for those that are watching there. If you are watching with us on playback.tv/soxmachine, I am currently getting it set up so you guys can watch the game along with us. And almost done there. But yeah, Chirizi. So you enter when Imanaga strikes out the side, but Andrew Vaughn with the sprained right finger was able to get a single, a pretty hard hit single at 104 miles per hour. So
good.
That's all you missed. Hard,
but I wish he was doing that at Charlotte or on the aisle, to just be totally honest.
Yeah. Are you surprised at Torkelson?
You know, I wrote about doing a similar thing with Vaughn earlier in the year. I think that it's reasonable. If you have a guy, you know, a few years in, it's not clicking, you still think there's something there, give him some time down in the minors. We've seen it. It's not like it's something that's never worked before, right? I mean, like there have been guys that needed to go back down. One of the big criticisms of the Sox with Vaughn was like they never gave him a chance to be in the minors, right? They just kind of fast forwarded them through everything. Of course, the COVID season didn't help, but like at the end of the day, I think most people say like he didn't get enough seasoning after what we saw come out. I mean, what's the difference between going, let's try that now, and let's just make them struggle forever in the pros until we cut them? Like I don't get the difference. Maybe they're done with them though. Maybe that's just they've had enough.
Of Torkelson
of Vaughn. Like Torkelson, okay. I get like they're not giving up on Torkelson. They think there's something still there. Let's go see if we can unlock it in the minors.
Well, Flexen making the start for the White Sox today gets the first out. So for those that are watching or listening along at soxmachine.com and listening along at youtube.com/soxmachine, welcome. Jim Margulis of Sox Machine has joined us. Jim, welcome back to the watch party environment.
Fun to be back. I don't think I missed much from the first inning as I was getting things set up. I just heard strikeouts mainly.
Yes. Imanaga struck out the side. Andrew Vaughn did get a single, though, despite his sprained right finger.
Tender him for next year.
$4 million. Here you go, kid.
And as we are here at the bottom of the first inning again, we are working with Playback. Playback is an excellent platform that has been around a few years in the beta stage, but they recently came to agreement with the NBA. And if you've been a basketball fan, there's been some terrific content coming from playback.tv with that official partnership between the NBA and Playback, where they have these types of watch parties, being able to watch along, not just the regular season games, but also the playoff games as well. Been a very fun atmosphere. Playback right now is working with Major League Baseball, so that's how we're helping Playback tonight. Breaking off a lot of rust, as we had more of these last year than this year, as Luis Robert goes back to the warning track and makes his first defensive play. Coming off the injured list, a long flyout for Suzuki, as that's 2 down for the Chicago Cubs. So as we break off a lot of rust, because it's been almost a calendar year since we've done this, please give us your feedback, good or bad. I'm expecting mostly bad, but give us your feedback, whatever we could do to make this watching and listening experience better for you. And we'll be working with Playback, and fingers crossed that something could be official between Major League Baseball and Playback around the All-Star break, second half of the season, so we could do more of these when the White Sox are on the road. So it feels like we're chilling together in a virtual sports bar.
I see the first set of feedback came through, more college football, which I'll just say no thanks.
So one question I had is the marquee feed, is that the one does it favor the home team, or are we avoiding Schriffen?
Well, I did specify what I requested, so we're getting the home team feed today. So I'm sorry, Jim. No John Schriffen minutes that last 2.5 hours.
Didn't know if it was out of respect for the White Sox broadcast that we would not audibly react.
Flexa tried to make this a quick first inning.
Oh,
Did he get him?
Got
He
him.
He did
did.
get him. Nice. Good boy, Chris.
that's all Maldonado though. That was.
It's all on Mark T. Maldonado.
Oh, and Bellinger swung, but yes. I'll take it.
But Maldonado knew. Maldonado just knew that it was going to work.
And the Cubs haven't been hitting at all, so let's take advantage of them while they're not hitting. Let's not do what we did with the Phillies when they weren't hitting, with the Blue Jays when they weren't hitting. Let's not put them back on track here, because last month's been rough for the Cubs.
Yeah, we've been kind of putting the White Sox have been putting everyone on track. I see like the Boston is burning right now. Red Sox are in disarray. It's just wait. Just wait for this weekend.
That's right.
Everyone's getting fixed when they play the White Sox.
It feels like flexing the first time through is not really the issue. It's when he's used his entire bag of tricks. Kind of like pulling out the trick plays in the first quarter. It's like, well, it worked, but you still have a lot of game left. 45 minutes.
Yeah, he needs to go all Eddie Harris in Major League and get the Crisco and Bardol for the third time through the order if he gets a little bit of it, you know.
I like that reference. There's a lot of Major League references as of late. Like Tommy Pham is gonna remind me of Jack Parkman when he gets traded, when he just talks crap about the White Sox. If you don't know that line, I'm the only winner here. Everyone else is a loser by choice or by birth.
Yeah, classic.
I mean, I think at this point we could very much assume Pham would say exactly that line. Like there's. I think we've got all the sound bites we need.
Yeah, right, exactly.
All right, second inning here for the White Sox and the Cubs, still scoreless. And let's talk about Milwaukee, of course, watching the White Sox and Brewers. But we were just in Milwaukee. We had an awesome tailgate along with our friends, the Chicago Sports Bums. And despite the rain that we had, big shout out to the Bums for bringing some tents. That was absolutely clutch. I think we did an excellent job to try to keep everyone dry. But I was informed during the Marquee pregame show, they were talking about our tailgate guys, and they were specifically talking about the video that Beeflo posted on Twitter drinking the cicada infused Malort. So, Mr. Worldwide, I present the stage to you. What is it like to go viral and see this video played? I don't know how many times has this video been played. It's
been everywhere.
Tens of thousands.
It's over 1 million, I think, now, because just our video was at like I think somewhere close to 300,000 views, but the like John Boy posted it, Barstool posted it, Barstool Chicago posted it. So like in total, yeah, I think it's over 1 million views.
Yeah, and Josh, it might be my dashing good looks on the video, but Treasy is the mastermind to film that. He filmed me taking the shirt right off my back and giving it to a fan who wanted one of the shirts that we kind of wore to the tailgate. We gave a few away, but we didn't have that many. And he's like, I'd really love that shirt. And I asked what size, and he's like, oh, double X. I'm like, here you go. Like, let just give it right off the back. And then he also filmed this. This one turned out to be more popular than me being half nude out there. I wonder why. I'm not sure why, but it just went the way it was, you know.
What's funny is I put it on Twitter, but I put it on YouTube as well as a short. And I was like, it's going to get picked up on YouTube. Like, that's where it's going to go crazy. And like, I looked after the game and it was like 21 views. And I was like, oh man, it didn't hit. All right, it's too bad. And then like the next day we're driving home, and Cornsey, my wife, she was like, hey, have you ever seen this account? It's got like 216,000 followers. They retweeted they reposted your video. I was like, what? And then like all of a sudden there was like hundreds of thousands of views.
Yeah, so you want to give it a shot, Beeflo, of explaining what the cicada infused Malort tasted like?
Sure. So yeah, so a friend of the 108, Tina, decided that she was going to cook up these cicadas and then kind of honey infuse them and then put them in the bottles of Malort. I don't know how long they were in the bottles of Malort, but it was definitely like an infusion. It wasn't like added that day or anything like that. And then when it came to the pouring, if you haven't seen the video, she poured it into a strainer so she could get the cicadas out of there, and then the liquid separate. And then she would pour a shot. And for anyone who wanted a cicada dropped in, you would get a cicada dropped in there. I wanted it, but also I wanted to make sure that I chewed it so that I could get the flavor of the cicada, because I thought it's kind of cowardice to just swallow it. Like, it's just swallowing a pill. Like, who cares about that? And so I started chewing, and like, you get legs and wings and things between your teeth. And it's not for the faint of heart. They look like little roaches. I'll be honest with you. When they come out of the Malort, right? I mean, Josh,
after being cooked and everything,
yes, they've been cooked down to look like that. So I thought that the honey helps a little bit, but the actual cicada was kind of had a nutty taste to it, almost like it was almost like it didn't have the crunch of a nut quite, but it was a very nutty taste, and it was not offensive at all. I was like, this is fine. I don't know if I'd do this again just because of the various textures and things going on there, but I thought it was totally fine.
It tasted like the peanut shell, not the peanut. So if you smash a peanut, as Danny Mendick is going to ground out to third, and that's the end of the top of the second as the White Sox go down in order. Still 0-0 as the game heads to the bottom of the second inning. But imagine crushing the peanut shell, dumping the actual peanuts, and just chewing on the shell. That's what it kind of tasted like.
Right.
And a little surprise, at least for me, what I did it was like the gusher effect, a little bit more Malort. So if you already love the Lord, you would love these cicadas because it just shot more of a Malort into your mouth. And now we're hearing Southern Illinois cicadas, not Chicago cicadas. Southern Illinois cicadas now have a sexual transmitted disease in which the private parts are now falling off the cicada, so they cannot reproduce. I hope we didn't get those.
Well, I don't know. I don't think we did, because supposedly when birds eat them, they get like super high. So like I don't think we had that effect. So I think we're probably okay.
So did the birds just fall out of the sky? Is that what's going on?
I haven't got high with birds in a long time, so I don't quite remember.
They examine their lives. Stare at art for a long time. Like, I don't know. I know what they do. But I would say about the tailgate in general, the fusion between the three groups was great. The bums are absolute professionals at running a tailgate, cooking, logistics, everything. And they still manage to engage with the people and everything. And truth be told, for us, it freed us up a lot to do the things that we do. And so I saw you guys got to work the crowd a lot more than normal because we were running around doing stuff. We got to do the goofy things that we do. And I got to interview a bunch of people. And actually, if it weren't for the rain, I probably would have interviewed 10 times the amount of people I did, because it was just the close quarters under the tents. But like, it gave us the opportunity to content out and engage with all the people a lot better with the third group added in that does that part better than we do it. So it was very nice to work with them on that.
Yeah, Jason, Peter, and Dougie, thank you guys so much, especially Jason and Dougie, like manning the hot dog station, making a bunch of pulled pork, smoking.
Good foul.
Okay, deep foul ball. It's all right. Chris Flex, it's all right. For a moment there, it looked like that was going to be way out into Waveland, but just a deep fly ball as Chris Burrell is batting for the Chicago Cubs currently. But yeah, big shout out to those guys. And of course, still have more whiskeys at Comiskey. That's their tailgates they have at Lot B as Burrell strikes out.
Yeah, I think the next one's June 29th.
June 29th. So if you go to White Sox games anyways, and you maybe at the last minute decide the White Sox suck, but the tickets are cheap and it's a beautiful summer day, and you come June 29th, make sure that you follow the Bums on Twitter and on Instagram. They're at Shy Sports Bums. They'll be promoting their tailgate, and there'll be like another 7,500 fans in Lot B, as they'll have awesome food. And their big thing is they have a bourbon table. So if
it was very impressive.
Love bourbon, it was very impressive.
I will say there's been plenty of people this year that have come out to the tailgate and not gone to the game. So that is also an option.
Yeah, one of the Veterans Committee members did that.
In Milwaukee, yes.
Yeah.
Really? That's awesome.
Yep.
I asked him, hey, Kevin, where are your seats? Oh, I'm just here for the tailgate, man.
I love that.
And he and his wife came up. They had a kind of a day trip planned, with other things going on. Like, great. Thanks for making us part of your day.
That's awesome. The guy who took the shirt off my back, he was having his own tailgate. He was in the outline shirt. Yes. And he came over because he's like, I just wanted to come and say hi to everybody and meet you guys and met these people or whatever. And there was that. And then I'm pretty sure it was a Sox Machine Patreon person brought a group, older gentlemen, and the one guy recognized me and I recognized him. He was a head security guard in my building. He recently retired, and I was like, oh, great to like randomly see someone I know from real life at one of these things. So these things get big and very communal. There's a lot of fun, and everyone mixing in and talking to each other. Chris
Flexen is pitching like Cy Flexen right now. Another strikeout from Chris Flexen as he's performing well here. As Marquee is showing the KBO stats for Chris Flexen when he pitched for the 2020 Doosan Bears. Is that your Korean team, Jim?
Yes.
And Eric Fetty, of course, pitched for the NC Dinos, who have the coolest mascot in the world. As the Cubs also go down in order. So still scoreless going into the third inning.
And we can look at the Sox lineup for the upcoming inning and say that the first two will be outs. And let's see what Corey Jones does.
Yeah, coming up for the White Sox is
solo shot.
Coming up for the White Sox is Lenin Sosa, Martin Maldonado, and then it goes back to the top of the order with Corey Julks.
Sosa actually had a decent game Saturday when you were there. I think he was like 1 for 4, but the other 3 outs are fairly loud, like good swing decisions. I'm not sure about Sunday because I didn't see that one traveling back. And so my sample size is 1 game, but he's swinging a hot bat.
And then to wrap up as far as our Milwaukee discourse, we had a pizza Friday night with Doritos on it. It was way better than it should have been.
Yes, it was terrific.
At Flower Child. So if you're ever in Milwaukee, there's a pizzeria called Flower Child. We highly recommend it. Yes, we were drinking, but the Doritos pizza was better than it should have been.
Yeah, absolutely. I was shocked by that.
Christ.
Yeah, exactly. They make pizzas, but they make some different combinations. And so it's some traditional type stuff that they'll do a twist on that's not the normal fare. And I think everything that we had was good. But yeah, the Doritos pizza shocked me. Like, you were excited to order it, Josh, and then first slice, you were very enthusiastic about it. And I was looking at it, it was kind of right in front of me where I was sitting, and I'm like, I don't know, do I want to eat that?
More cicadas.
Exactly. And I was like, all right, fine. These guys freaking out about it, and I ate it. I'm like, this actually was really good. But yeah, it was cool, like the different combinations of pizza.
Was it just the basic Doritos, like the straightforward nacho cheese, or?
It was nacho cheese. It was seasoned shredded chicken with the Taco Bell Baja sauce. It's just, if you're either stoned or really drunk, it's the kind of pizza that you're looking for.
That sounds like, if you're not going for like authentic Neapolitan style pizza.
Oh no, this is not that type of place.
Yeah, like, I can see it like makes sense on paper.
Yeah. Jim, I will say that I think that all of that, like all of those different pizzas we had on Friday night, when they kind of over delivered on the taste that we were getting, may have made us overconfident in eating the cicadas the next day. Like, oh, this looks terrible, but I bet it's pretty good.
And then the last question I have, you guys ended up going to the casino after Saturday's game. How did the casino go? Oh, come on, Lenine.
Yeah. There you go.
Light it up.
That's the way to get on base on this guy.
Now this is going to be a 2-run homer.
That's a skill hit right there. Look at that.
Not after Maldonado grounds into a double play.
Hey, Jim, come on. We're going to try to be positive here.
The flip is amazing.
Jim, when you said the exit velocity on that, all I could think of was Black Sheep when they're driving on nitrous, and you're like, do you know how fast you were going? 7. You were going 7 miles per hour.
Close. 24.2. That's the exit velocity. And I don't think I've ever seen one that low. Like usually when it's that, it's like doesn't register.
What a missile.
Everyone's favorite, Martin Maldonado, who I believe is batting underneath the legal. He is 0.079.
Yeah.
He can still drive under the influence.
Just barely. Don't round up.
Lean into this one. I feel
Just
like
never swinging could be a good approach, Treasy. Never Maldonado just not swinging ever might be a good approach for him.
I feel like they stopped pitching him inside, knowing this might just be a guy just turning into the wall. Like it's just like.
But back on the casino, I was a small loser, but Mrs. Beef had a real nice session. Not quite hand pay level, but a good win at Potawatomi.
I just remember that place being a bingo hall. So what games did you end up playing?
It had bingo. We didn't play any table games. We were playing slots.
Yeah, any of the tables that were like actually open were jammed.
Mm-hmm.
Were jammed. There were very few blackjack tables even. Like there was no craps table, or at least not one that I saw. I don't know, Beef. Did you see one there?
No, I ended
up just playing machines the whole time. I ended up about even, which is weak because like I don't think I'm ever going to use any of my Potawatomi points.
I already got a mail offer, $75 free play. Trees, you want to drive back up there?
All right,
let's go.
We got to make a run to the horseshoe though this month.
We do.
That's true.
Do. Yeah,
that's true.
I
want to play 5 hands at a time. I've never heard of anyone doing that, but like,
Jumper says Craps is on the second floor, so we did not go to the second floor. We weren't sure there was gaming up on the second floor, but so
well, now you know. You got to use that $75 credit now.
Throw it down there.
Oh man!
Damn it, Jim!
Told you.
Damn you, Jim!
How dare you? Boo!
Lane Sosa rocket single, Maldonado grounding a double play, 2 for 2 in my predictions here.
We're on fire. We could have used that at the casino. That's the same.
I think I've spent 30 minutes in a casino my entire life.
It's probably saved you a lot of money.
Yeah. So, like, horse racing is the only kind of gambling I like, just because it feels like that's built into the price of the fun.
Yeah, right.
Horse racing is one of my favorite ways to gamble. I could just go, especially if you're at the track. Like, I'm not a big off track betting guy. Like, going and sitting at the track, it's just an enjoyable experience.
Yeah, Saratoga is fun. I don't know if you've ever been up there, but it's like I think it's like an 8-week season now, but it's just the confluence of like NASCAR crowds and like the wealthiest people imaginable, kind of all meeting in one place for 8 weeks. Like one time I actually walked literally into Bobby Flay.
Oh, goodness.
Rounding a corner. Like,
oh,
one of the Triple Crown races was there this year, right? Like it was like something else was closed. So Saratoga.
Belmont
was,
yeah,
it's closed. So
good foul.
It's like, 4 hours. You're there for 4 hours, and if you lose $50 or something like that, well, it costs $3 to get in. So it's like $53 for 4 hours is kind of like a decent return on
fun. Yeah, on the
That's what I tell myself when I go play 3-card poker for 7 minutes at Horseshoe. Beef's seen me. It was you, Beef, right? That had a decent run one time as Joke strikes out.
Yep. 2 Ks for Jokes. Goodness.
That was the only time I ever had a decent run at that game. So that we're through 3. The White Sox are still scoreless, but the White Sox at least have hits as we head into
through
the
2.5.
Yeah, we're headed to the bottom of the third inning. We're through 3 for the White Sox. So we're a third of the way for another series opening shutout loss for the White Sox, which would be like 9 on the season for them. But Luis Robert is back for the Chicago White Sox, coming off the injured list and manning center field. But what makes this timing interesting, especially from ESPN's Jeff Passan, your friend, Beefloaf, is that trade rumors are starting to pick up around Major League Baseball. We're still almost 2 months away. July 30th is the Major League Baseball trade deadline, but this is an idea. Like, teams have a pretty good idea of where they're going to be. There are some surprises. We'll look at the standings later in the telecast when we pick who we are buying and who we are selling right now in Major League Baseball. Like, who do we believe in their run and could be a postseason team this year, and whose run that we are not believing in and we're selling some of their stock. We'll play that game later on. But in Passan's column, immediately he mentions the White Sox as being the biggest seller in this upcoming trade deadline. Not a surprise. But this is where the surprise is that there are two names, according to Jeff Passan, the White Sox are shopping right now: Luis Robert and Garrett Crochet. We'll get to Crochet in a moment, but B, for White Sox fans always asking, please make it make sense for me. Why would the White Sox entertain the idea right now of trying to move Luis Robert?
You know what? I don't exactly know, because from a performance standpoint, I wouldn't think you're hitting a high watermark or anything in his value specifically, that, oh, he's playing so well right now and there's a lot of shine on the performance that you really would want to dish him off. And in addition to that, with 3.5 years of control left, it's hard for anybody to have a system deep enough to really pay for a guy with these level of tools. And so I don't know if it's this perspective of like, we want to hear what everyone would value this person at, and then maybe figure out, okay, where are we at with this? But it just seems like odd timing to me. If he was tearing things up and he looked great, and obviously the results weren't no different, I could see it, but he's just coming off injury. The timing feels weird to me, and also just the amount of control left just seems like, I don't know who is really going to want to pay this price.
As Dansby Swanson fouls it off, he's down in the count to Chris Flexen, 1-2 in the bottom of the third inning. If you just joined us, I'm Josh Nelson alongside Jim Margulis of Sox Machine, along with our friends Beefloaf and Treasy from the 108s. For those that are watching on playback.tv/Sox Machine, welcome. You can watch along with the feed with us. I've been updating those settings for those that are joining in, so just give me a moment while I turn the feed on as Chris Flexen strikes out Dansby Swanson. So sexy Flexen.
That's
red hot. Red
Swanson,
hot.
Swanson's been struggling too. Good. Beat him down. This is take advantage of this right now. 7
outs for Chris Flexen so far. Only 26 pitches. Hopefully I didn't jinx him there. Treasy, what are your thoughts about the trade rumors? Pete Crow Armstrong steps into the batter's box for the Cubs about maybe moving Luis Robert before the deadline.
Feels like the old bait and switch. Like, to me, is like, hey, how much would you give us for these guys? Well, guess what? We don't have those guys for you, but we got these other guys. And so I don't know. It just feels like because in both cases, I don't see how you get a whole lot for them right now. Like, you look at Robert, and there's the control, but with the injuries, he's closer to Byron Buxton than he is to Juan Soto when you're talking about like a trade commodity.
That's a good comp.
That's rough. Like, why would you trade him at that point, right? And then on the Crochet side, I think, Jim, this is something that you talked about on Sox Machine, is like, he's never pitched this many innings. So what are you actually buying at the end of the season, right? Like, so in both cases, it seems like they're trying to set the top of what teams are willing to give away in order to have other conversations about players that they do want to move, right? Like, and I'm not saying that like Garrett Crochet and Chris Flexen are anywhere in the same world, but like Garrett Crochet and Eric Fetty in this season are. And you could see them saying, well, I don't think that's going to work out here, but we do have Eric Fetty available. Maybe we could do something similar to what you're talking about for him. That's the way I see it, because it just doesn't seem like it would be a great year to trade either one of them.
Yeah, as Amaya for the Cubs picks up a single, so Nico Horner, top of the order for the Cubs, now batting with a runner at first and 2 outs at the bottom of the third. And Horner will ground out to Dion, over to second to Danny Mendick, and that is 3 scoreless innings for Chris Flexen so far. So we're already a third of the way through. That's good news, especially if you're looking at the weather radar that the Cubs and White Sox are playing fast to try to get this game in before weather blows through the north side of Chicago. as we are now heading to the top of the fourth inning. But yeah, the Garrett Crochet, not only did Passon mention that idea, but The Athletic, along with Ken Rosenthal, are reporting that the San Diego Padres, Jim, are the first team to inquire and are interested in acquiring Garrett Crochet from the Chicago White Sox. Of course, the Padres and White Sox have already made one big trade before the season started, as the Padres acquired Dylan Cease. It doesn't surprise me that the Padres would come calling back, because they're in a tight race right now in the National League West to be the second place team behind the Dodgers, and of course in the wild card race as well in the National League. And Jim, like, the Padres continue to be bold in all their decision making. So despite all the concerns of like, what kind of pitcher are we acquiring? This is a career high number of innings and pitches he's already thrown. AJ Preller says, I'm okay with that. And
I should have been fired years ago. House money.
Yes, it doesn't surprise you that it's the Padres calling first about Crochet.
Doesn't surprise me, the Padres. I don't think the Padres can ever surprise you when it comes to being interested in anybody, because they seem to have a bottomless supply of prospects who are interesting. Like, even with the Dylan Cease trade, they acquired him for Thorpe and Iriarte and Zavala. And I remember being on the live stream with you when that trade broke, and you're looking at the top of their prospect list, and then having to, my eyes drift a little bit downward until it finally hit the names the White Sox got. And, you're talking about like their 6th to 10th best prospects. And you're like, yeah, it's okay. And then you realize like they're actually pretty good. There's some promise there, at least if you want pitching. Position players a little bit iffier, but you had to scroll down a little bit to get to where they are. And if Dylan Cease only commanded that, Garrett Crochet figure like you're even going lower on their list. And so, that's why initially it's not all that exciting to me, just because we already saw their list. Like, new teams, novelty, like that's kind of what I'm into right now when it comes to rumors, versus like, oh, we're going to get the prospects 11 through 15, which, numbers aren't quite meaningless. They require like constant revision because players change, development isn't linear and all that. But, basically my initial reaction, as you hope this market kind of, given that's only early June, has plenty of time to build and grow out as teams get more confident in their own abilities to compete. But I'm hoping it's not just the Padres, or that the White Sox aren't intent on just dealing with them, because we had conversations with them already during Dylan Cease, and we've already done the research. So let's just keep going with the team where, I have their phone number. Let's go.
As Vaughn is currently up 3-1 against Imanaga in the top of the fourth inning. Leading off, Vaughn is 1 for 1 today with a single in the first inning. Again, Vaughn's dealing with a sprained right finger, as that is a borderline strike call, so the count is full. I thought that was a bit outside, but it is strike 2 against Andrew Vaughn. For those that are watching along or listening along to us on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/SoxMachine, are also watching on SoxMachine.com. For those that are the playback.tv/SoxMachine room, welcome, as the full count pitch to Vaughn is another single to center field.
Amputate that finger. He doesn't need it.
Exactly. Let's Ronnie Lott him. Let's go.
Well, the majors don't cut it for Andrew Vaughn. Maybe playing Japan would. So far he's 2 for 2 against Imanaga to start off the fourth inning. Again, the game is still scoreless. Imanaga's pitch count really low. He's only at 43 pitches, but now here comes Luis Robert as he struck out in his first at bat. But like on the point with Crochet, if the Padres are already calling, to me, I don't know. Again, I don't know if they're a good trade partner for the White Sox for Crochet, but this morning when I heard the idea, and it wasn't from Jeff Passan, about the White Sox are shopping Crochet, I thought that was a bit odd. But if Preller's already calling, then it must be serious beef, because he makes deals happen.
He does, and a lot of times you don't even hear that they're involved in someone. Oh, that's trapped. It's in there. All right.
That's good base running by Andrew Vaughn.
Can't stop.
Yeah, no, that was a nice job by Andrew Vaughn. Agreed. Yeah, one thing that crossed my mind, Josh, on this, and Josh mentioned, Jim mentioned it right at the end. He said the person that you have their phone number. You wonder how much of stoking the fire a common trade partner might do for you in a situation where you think you have this thing that a lot of people might want. And you say, oh, you show some interest in this, or put something out there through an agent or something that shows that you have interest, and then we're going to see what the inbound looks like on this. Because I was thinking the same thing. Like, I don't know, how many times you go back to the well with the same trade partner, but they could help you in other capacities, especially if you're comfortable with each other, you feel like you work well together. It might be a spot where you utilize your friendship to do something like that, because yes.
Is Vaughn going to score?
Vaughn's got it. Easy.
They go in the dugout?
Yeah.
Wait. Are they calling that fair or foul?
No, that's got to be fair. It bounced off his mitt.
Yeah.
I think they were saying it went into the dugout.
Yeah, let's see if
that was almost like a triple play ball.
Yeah.
It really was.
It made me very nervous. Yeah.
Oh, that's that Christopher Morel glove we know and love. Look at that.
That's way fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
Wow.
To your point, Jim, I think that's what Morale was thinking. If I do that type of field on that type of bouncer, I can quickly make a running throw over to second base and get a good chance of getting a triple play. But instead, the
Andrew
White Sox
Vaughn gets
score
called for interference. Somehow.
Yeah, Morel should have knocked into him on his way through.
It's a high bouncer. Yeah, Morale just completely misses it.
Yeah.
Does it roll into?
No,
I think that's
he called it out.
Yeah, I think that's what they're debating right now, whether or not this is the other guys get to move up automatically or not.
I just wanted to make sure Vaughn touched third. That would have. It's like,
Treasy, don't do that. Come on.
You got to look. I didn't say it until after I saw him touch third.
Okay, hit the, or he got stuck in the rail.
No.
Oh, so that's why the umpire was waving his hands. But Swanson picked it up.
Yeah,
how does that work?
I thought you had to give up on the play in order to trigger the call, because I remember Diane Viciato, kind of on hands and knees, alternately reaching underneath the rail, then put his hands up, like that, committing to either course of action and not getting the call. So I thought it required the player bailing out.
But Dion advanced, Robert advanced. So that's what I think counsel's arguing here. What is this is a gray area for me. What is the correct call here?
I'm not sure, but I just had an image in my mind of Pedro just wandering into the conversation, just like doesn't quite know where he's at, but now he's sitting in there with them.
Well, I guess, maybe I guess counsel's arguing the runners wouldn't have moved up, and I guess maybe if it's in plain sight, it is a weird call.
But did they even move the runners up?
It's showing so on the score bug.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah, they did.
All right, so the White Sox now have runners on second and third.
Right.
That's a very costly error by Chris Morel. And now Gavin Sheets is batting.
That's two bad first pitch swings in a row, because DeYoung just bounced a first pitch to third base, and now there's a pop up there.
They didn't send Robert, that's progress.
Yeah. The Padres remind me, there's a local realtor here who's big hook is the guaranteed cash offer. So if you're selling your house, he'll guarantee a cash offer. And the Padres feel like that. If you just want to be rid of your player, you want to set your own closing date and move out, take as long as you want to move out. Sure, they'll pay $150,000 under what you could actually get, just to put that amount in your pocket right then and there. So that's what they feel like to me.
I mean, what is the trade market for Crochet? Because it's an iffy player to grab. I mean, if you think about, I think a bunch of us have talked about this, right? What would you extend Crochet for, right? If you're thinking about an extension for Crochet, I don't think anybody's willing to give away a lot of money to keep him on their team for a long time. So if that's not the case, are teams willing to give a lot of prospects up for Crochet?
This is where I pull up the list of who's going to be free
Whoa.
agent. The
Oh,
scoring
let's
lead,
go.
big
Come on.
drive.
It's in there, baby. Let's go. All right.
Yes.
Off the Ivy. This should score
Free.
2.
Woo. That's my
Corey
deal.
Lee.
And it's a 3-0 lead.
Stack those righties. Let's go.
4th straight game for the White Sox with a multi-run lead. Can they hold it this time?
When is it late enough that the game just ends if it rains? Like
5th
let's-
inning. One
Okay,
more
let's
inning,
root
baby.
for that. Let's root for that.
That would be the tie for Pedro. Pedro Cafal comes in. All right, we're done. Just pretend this is spring training.
Go to the bullpen right now. Like Flexen got through one time through the lineup. High leverage from here.
I mean, Corey Lee is not worried about the spin rate on that. 91 center cut. He's smacking it. So that was nice to see.
Imanaga's velocity is dropping. He started at 93. He just threw a 90-mile-per-hour fastball to Danny Mendick.
That's Danny
rough.
Mendick's wheelhouse.
It sure is.
90-mile-per-hour straight fastball down the middle.
You know, Josh, I had a conversation with one of your best buddies last night on the Au Jus, Danny Rocket, who does some Cubs stuff. And he was saying that as I was asking him the tenor of Cubs Twitter, and he said Cubs fans were really complaining that they gave Imanaga an extra day on his last start. And I brought up that, well, you know, he was pitching in Japan. They pitch once a week and that sort of thing. Just kind of wondering if some of that was like preemptive as to maybe wearing him a little bit. And maybe we're seeing a little bit of that here. Maybe a little fatigue, a little dead arm coming through, not being used to the workload.
Look at Corey Lee there doing the old RBI baseball play.
Yes.
And then the old Carlos Zambrano play digging in there afterwards, you know.
We got some rain in Bridgeport looking outside right now. So we'll see if it starts raining in the north side and how much they're willing to withstand.
Nothing in Pilsen yet, so it might be moving north. It's
Another 25-mile-per-hour rocket here.
what
It's well placed last time.
what if he goes like 3 for 3, no ball over 50 miles per hour?
Ozzy will be yelling about how important that is. Darn that exit velocity.
He cracked the code.
Exactly.
So looking at next year's free agent class, so back to your question, Chirizi, about the value of Crochet. Corbin Burns, Max Fried, Walker Buehler, those are your top free agents right now. Everyone else has either got opt-outs or club options. Shane Bieber will be coming off of Tommy John. Max Scherzer, who knows as far as like his health status. He's trying to come back this season. Blake Snell's got an opt-out. He may want to not opt out with how this is not going all that well for the Giants. Jordan Montgomery's got a vesting option.
Oh, let's
yeah.
go.
Look at that. Told you.
Oh man.
Yes.
Well, that went a lot faster than 27 miles per hour.
Yes.
It was 49 miles per hour. Like,
49 exit velocity,
Blimp shots.
400 feet.
Chief Keef loves
Hey,
Sosa.
look at
Let's
that.
go, baby.
Lenine Sosa, hashtag 1080 on the exit velocity.
Jim called it. Hot bet.
That's right. He can do everything. He can hit a real low squibber and then smoke.
Yeah.
one.
Imanaga's changeup was like right down the middle.
That was-
so
I think in music they call it he's got dynamic range. Can compel
Yes.
pianissimo and forte.
again, in the last 11 games.
Oh no.
Yep.
Oh man. Yeah, the weather advisory just came up at Wrigley Field. So the top of the 4th inning with 2 outs. The Cubs are advising fans because of lightning in the area, which we could see in Bridgeport on the south side of Chicago. That's where I am. It doesn't look like it's raining right now at Wrigley Field on the north side of Chicago, but it is coming. The White Sox are currently leading 5-0 as Imanaga really struggling here against the White Sox. But as I was going to say, with 2 outs here and Martin Maldonado now batting for the White Sox, the Cubs are 2-9 in their last 11 games. They really need this series. So to be down 5-0 already in the 4th inning with your best performing starting pitcher, not a good omen for the Cubs.
If Maldonado gets a hit, you got to pull him, right? Beef, you might give him a few extra days off, even if that.
Yeah. Fake IL stint, possibly.
Oh, it is raining hard in Bridgeport.
I don't think I got anything yet.
I'm a little over the rain, to be honest with you.
Had enough, huh?
Billy Ice in the comment section. Do you guys know if Max Stassi is alive? That is a question I ask often. He is alive. He's not playing, but
I mean, I'm pretty sure I was listening to a Sox Machine episode a couple weeks ago where James let it slip and he said no to the question. He quickly corrected himself and he said, no, he's not playing, but he's alive. I don't trust it. I don't trust it.
Andrew Vaughn looking very focused on TV. And that's going to be a ball on Martín Maldonado. So 2-2 is the count with 2 outs. Evan at 61 pitches. Need the rain to hold off for a little while on the north side of Chicago. And Maldonado strikes out. Good job, Martín. Keeps the game moving. What a team player.
Roll it.
Veteran leadership.
We now head to the bottom of the 4th inning as Chris Flexen hopefully can continue his hot hand. I mean, this is a pleasant surprise, but the problem has been, again, this is 4 straight games the White Sox have had a multi-run lead, and they had a multi-run lead against the Brewers over the weekend, and they lost all 3 games still. So fingers crossed, a 5-run lead is safe, but the White Sox have already blown 2 5-run leads this season, so we'll see if they are able to hold on. But
I was wrong. I opened the window. It is pouring over here, so it's on its way up to Wrigley.
So it's on its way up. So we gotta be fast here, everyone. Need the Cubs to play their part. But Treasy, like to your question, like that before Lenin Sosa rudely interrupted me when I was reading who are going to be free agents next year with his big 2-run homer. I joke, of course. It looks like the free agent market when it comes to starting pitchers is light. So maybe that's a story that we are not talking about right now. We will in the next month is if teams decide that, listen, the free agent market is incredibly weak for starting pitchers. If somebody like Garrett Crochet, who has multiple years of control, and if we're in a position to make an investment in a starting pitcher because we have a need, maybe this is the time, if that makes sense, Treasy.
But I think the question that I would ask there is like, if you're a team, a contending team, right? Where does Garrett Crochet fit into your rotation? And if it's anywhere after a number 2 starter, I don't think you're looking at the top of the free agent market for that. And I feel like over the past few years, the middle of the pack has gotten very cheap. And like if you feel like you are a good assessor of talent, like you should be able to grab guys to put in that 3 and 4 spot for a reasonable amount of money. And so I think that's where, for me, it's tough to like I really like Garrett Crochet, and I think it's great that they've figured out that he's a starter and that he's looking really good. It would be surprising to me if a team contending for a championship, either this year or next year, looks at Garrett Crochet after such a small sample size and says, this is 1 or 2 starter.
Well, that's where the Padres, again, they are a team that loves to take on those risks. And Dylan Cease has been fantastic for the Padres. So maybe it's like going back to that same well of maybe we could strike gold again, because the Padres really need to pull out all the stops if they're going to try to catch up to the Los Angeles Dodgers. And you look at the seats behind home plate at Wrigley Field, and it's like, hey, this game, we traveled back in time, Jim. It's 2020 again. Watching this game with no fans in the seats as the fans have taken cover with the storms coming.
Yeah, where's the cutouts? You still have your cutouts?
I still have mine.
Suzuki batting, he's 0 for 1 today. As a changeup in the dirt from Chris Flexen. 2-2.
It was
is
funny.
The
the game in Milwaukee is my first game of the season, so I did see some. I think, especially Brewers fans, you could see the difference between this year's jerseys and previous year's jerseys. And with Nike reverting to maybe the old design next year, like it's going to look so out of place. Because I think like Flexen probably has one of the worst, or maybe it's just a pitcher thing because their backs are to the camera the whole time, to where you just like spend a lot of time looking at it because Fetty is just as bad. But
Flexen's jersey looks like it came from China, like direct from China.
Yeah. He packed it with him.
What a play by Danny Mendick.
Nice.
Oh, Danny.
Jim, it's short names. Like anything 7 letters or under looks terrible on these jerseys.
Like it looks like Flexen brought it back from the Big Paul Chunky Time store in Seoul. Because I saw 2 Yelich jerseys next to each other, and one was the new and one was the old one, and it just looked so terrible.
Great play by Danny Mendick, and that comes at a good time because Zach Remillard was DFA'd again by the White Sox, and they made many roster moves. Zach Remillard
will be back.
How many more times should he be DFA'd this year, guys? What do you think?
I don't know. He was awful in Milwaukee.
Remillard is becoming the Grandpa Simpson gif. Like he's like
enters a game and leaves it.
That one I understand, Tracy. I understand that one. I don't know much Simpsons, but that one I know.
Well, that works for like during a season or roster, or also during the game because he pinch ran and then immediately ran to an out.
Nice curveball from Flexen. Flexen really changing up speed. 71 miles an hour on that curveball. He's up 1-2 against Bellinger. Yeah, Remillard couldn't bunt in Saturday's game with extra innings. Made 4 defensive mistakes in Saturday's game. But then you got Danny Mendick, who made this fantastic play at second base just now to get Suzuki. And yeah, Danny Mendick should be getting a lot more playing time than Zach Remillard.
Yeah, Chris Flexen, first time through the order, 534 OPS allowed. Second time, 908. Third time, 1361.
Oof. Yeah, and this is something that our partner James Fegan has mentioned. Like a contending team, because Flexen is so cheap, just $1.75 million this year. You get halfway through the season, it's below $1 million. So the financial commitment's not a lot. He's your swing guy. Maybe he's your spot starter. Maybe he's your opener that can go through 3 innings with confidence before, to Jim's point, he faces the lineup a second time. But Beef, you mentioned at the beginning of this watch party, the Cubs offense has been really struggling, like hitting just as poorly as the White Sox have.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only 2 guys that really had above water the last month plus here have been Cody Bellinger, which you expect, and then Michael Busch, but he's been doing it in a very strange way. He's been total 3 outcomes, like 38% K rate, but also above 20% walk rate for Busch, and then some home runs sprinkled in there. But the majority of the guys are below league average, and some of these guys are really sucking in. Like Dansby Swanson is sitting around with I think it's like a 55 WRC plus in the last month. I mean, this like atrocious performances by guys that are not leaving the lineup. These are guys that are in there for them.
And we did get a question in the comments section at playback.tv/Sox Machines. It's still raining in Bridgeport. Yes, it is. Very much raining. Seeing lots of lightning. If this game was at Guarantee Ray Field, we would be under a delay right now. Thank you, Chris Morale. That really helps the White Sox. If somebody makes this play.
All right. There we go.
Paulie D, I trust him.
Yes. Good job, Paul DeYoung.
I saw the question from Dr. Crawdad, and I didn't see the line break at first. And I was wondering, what did I say?
Now those are the type of questions we get, Jim, in our life.
Yeah, I was like Zach Remillard fan in the house, I suppose. Although, like, he's a Troy guy, I'm a Troy guy, so like I figure like we're on the same side here.
Well, he's been struggling mightily, but he's like the perfect 45th man because you can pass him through waivers. He'll land back there, and then you can just pull him back out when you need to use him when you're in a desperate situation.
I wonder if teams claim him and like Remillard or his agent just reach out to the team and say, please don't. We're in a really good spot here.
Interesting. Right.
That's a James question with his relationship with agents, especially those that are currently the White Sox. But thank you to Chris Morale to that first pitch infield pop up. Morale not having a good game. He had that costly error that opened the scoring for the White Sox. And again, the White Sox are leading 5-0 as we go into the fifth inning. If you just joined us, whether that's on SoxMachine.com or on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/SoxMachine, welcome. I'm Josh Nelson alongside Jim Margulis from Sox Machine. We are joined by our friends Beefloaf and Chirizi from the 108. This is our first watch party of the 2024 season on playback.tv/Sox Machine, which we have allowed a select few to be able to watch the feed along with us at that URL. And the White Sox are currently leading 5-0 going to the top of the fifth inning. Right now, the most pressing story is, will the rain hold off on the north side of Chicago? We have some rain right now on the south side, but we haven't seen that rain yet hit Wrigley Field at this moment. So fingers crossed as the White Sox are trying to hold this lead as the Cubs just only have one
back to the pitcher this inning. Like 3-pitch inning. This is when you want it.
We're going to put Maldonado up again. We want to hit him again.
This is okay.
As a Jokes first pitch swinging, that is fair.
He's trying.
He didn't get the memo.
Try for a first pitch out, but
yeah. But
Jokes.
Beefloaf Sky, Jokes
Love
with the leadoff double. They're hitting Imanaga hard today. That had an exit velocity of over 108 miles per hour. The Cubs are below 500. They're 2-9 in their last 11 games. If we were Cubs blogs and podcasts, I could understand if they do not come back and win this game, the sky is falling.
You have to have the Cardinals team meeting. Oh my God, we just lost to the White Sox at home.
And yeah, look at the Cardinals now. They would be in the postseason if the season were to end today.
Scared straight.
Now, when you think about how many White Sox podcasts the White Sox have killed, do they have a chance to kill some Cubs podcasts?
Oh,
can the Sox take two here and kill multiple Cubs podcasts?
It'll be beautiful. I hope so. I'll find out. I'll reach out to some people, find out if that does happen.
As Andrew Vaughn hits a low changeup to center field, Crow Armstrong's got that. And that's
the position that Cubs fans in, just bringing back the conversation I had last night, I asked a question about, how are Cubs fans dealing with the skid in conjunction with Craig Counsell? And one of the things Danny Rocket told me was that he said, right now we're trying to figure out, was it really Craig Counsell making all those moves up there in Milwaukee and doing all this magic? Or was it just that their front office in Org is so good at finding players and developing players and kind of bringing up random bullpen arms, then doing things where the manager got a lot of credit for it? And the early look right now is they feel like the Brewers are a better organization. And maybe some of the things that Craig Counsell did was getting credited for was really the Org was just very strong. So they're kind of at the point where they're pointing the finger at Jet, like, what's up here, Yeah,
because other than Imanaga, Counsell was like their second biggest free agent signing.
Right. I mean, they bring back Bellinger, so I guess you could theoretically count that. But he was in tow the last year, so I don't count it either, Josh. That's the biggest free agent sign.
Yeah, and they paid. I mean, he's the highest paid manager in Major League Baseball. And honestly, he got outmanaged in Milwaukee in that 4-game series where the Cubs lost 3 out of 4.
Yeah, it's a tough look right now. I mean, we'll see, but it's still early, but it does bring some skepticism.
I was expecting this. The umpires are pulling the players off the field, and here comes the tarp in the middle.
Just like a preemptive tarp rolling, like
it looks like
it,
right?
Before the field gets soaked.
Because you don't see anything in the TV feed, right?
Yeah, so we are at the top of the 5th inning.
They said here comes the rain, so I think it's starting to rain, and I think they just realized from what we're seeing all over the city that that's not going to be light.
We have the marquee feed, and evidently the Cubs either using a drone or a plane to do aerial shots outside of Wrigley Field. I doubt they have their own blimp, but in the distance to the south of Wrigley Field,
blimp.
Yeah,
A Hindenburg scene right on the one of the light stanchions.
The same flip weather.
well, I kind of came prepared for this.
You got a horse racing feed?
I did not get a horse racing feed.
Call him Jose Rodriguez. Get him in here.
I'm glad you brought him up because we're going to talk about him in a moment. But for those that are watching along with playback.tv/Sox Machine, I am putting the game onto a very big series in the American League Central, the Kansas City Royals and the Cleveland Guardians. For those that are watching on SoxMachine.com or listening along with us at YouTube.com/Sox Machine, we are currently in a rain delay officially at Wrigley Field. We'll see how long it lasts. As it stopped raining in Bridgeport, so we're hoping that this is just a short delay for the White Sox and the Cubs. So we have Guardians live here, so I'm going to assume the end of the Guardians and Royals game. Wow. So the Guardians were down 5-0, and they end up winning 8-5. The Cleveland Guardians.
Hopefully not foreshadowing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
We like to copy the Royals, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Every Josh Naylor slow motion swing.
I'm hearing Phillies Brewers 9th inning tie game.
Yeah, let's see if I can get some assistance on that. If we can flip it over. I can put on some Chicago Sky.
Oh, I haven't caught much of them yet. I've been waiting for Cardoso to come back. She just got back, I think, right?
I think they'll summon James into the broadcast or into the playback.
Bring him in. Get him in here.
All right. I don't have.
All right.
I'm working on it. So we're in the bottom of the ninth here. Mets Nationals.
Unlock the Schriffen feed. Saw in a comment earlier, I think it's from James asking, not our James, asking like if we had a rivalry between the two of us because you guys love Schriffen and we not so much. I would say I don't hate him. I'm fascinated by him. Like he makes choices. And
I would say I don't think we love Schriffen either. I mean, I won't speak for my Sox summer. He might love him. But Treasy and I have more been like, we haven't ingested a lot of him. And all the excitable stuff to us, like, I think we look at it as this is an entertainment product. And so we're okay with all the goofy things. Like, it doesn't resonate with us. But also, I wouldn't like give him an A grade or anything. Like, I haven't seen enough to know, like, if I really like him or not. I've just seen the, little kind of bits of it.
Yeah, I do like when I'm watching the broadcast, a lot of like head tilts. Like,
what was that?
I think I'm still sticking to what we were talking about this on the mid show with I think it was Chief was asking us, hey, what do you think about Benetti leaving? And I kind of said like, I'm the wrong person to ask because I probably ingest the least amount of White Sox announcers out of anyone who does what we do because we go to so many games and then we do the road trips. Last year we were doing playbacks. Like there was just like, and then Benetti and in that case was also doing a lot of,
national,
like you tune into a game and you don't have Benetti. So it's been the same with Schriffen. Like I've caught a few games of him and I think that there's work to do for sure. Right. And I think I talked with a couple of people at the tailgate this weekend, and I was like, not to pile everything on the Sox org, but they could have given him a few more spring training games. Like you're kind of like, this guy's never really done this.
Tune up for Schriffen. Like he's getting tendonitis 3 games in.
Laryngitis. Give him some laryngitis. But I think it's like anything, and he probably needs a lot of reps, like because, and it's part of the thing of like they hired a guy that didn't have a lot of experience doing this, so there must have been like some things about him that they were like diamond in the rough type thing, right? Like maybe the big calls, and like him or not, maybe they saw the big calls and like, he could do that. We haven't had that since Hawk, right? Like with that, we've been missing that. We think he could figure out the rest of the stuff.
Hiring the opposite of the guy who came before.
The rest of the stuff is 94% of the game. So like, that's where I think a lot of people are seeing a big difference, right? Because Jason was incredible at that part. Like Jason was like, you could have a rain delay for an hour and a half. You wouldn't even want, you would be like, I'd rather have just Jason talk to me than do this Graham Bessinger or whatever they're going to put on. Right. Like, so I get why people are like, man, there is a huge variance between these two guys. I think maybe the Sox thought that middle part was easier for some reason. And they're just like, oh, he'll get it. He'll get it. And then gave him no reps in spring training to do that.
Well, I think, with Schriffen, like his experience, they did call some KBO games here and there, but in terms of like following a team for an entire year, and even though like, Benetti had a lot of experience in minors, and there probably are like maybe like a couple dozen people who like listen to minor league games religiously to where like, they hold them accountable, in quotes, the way like a TV audience would. There's probably still like internal sense of like, have I told this story before? Have I told this story too often every time this guy starts? How much do I need to vary it up and see? Because I'm boring myself here with the information I have from watching this team, calling my 130th game of the year. And so he chooses to mix it up. Whereas like, when Schriffen calls KBO games here and there, and then he goes to call a conference, like the audience he's calling a game for probably changes, pretty much entirely from game to game, to where like everything's new and he's just there setting the scene for people who might not have seen these teams all year, or watching watching it at Airport Bar or something like that, because that's a game that's on ESPN2 at the time. Like, so that's kind of I imagine that's really difficult too. Like, going into a season where you've never called a game for an audience, a dedicated audience, seeing the same team every game and hearing your call about that team every game. And, I would think like if I'm entering that scene and like, I'm trying to think if I ran like let's say a Cincinnati Reds podcast, like I said, I'm going to start a Cincinnati Reds podcast 5 days a week. I would be terrified. Like, I'm going to sound like an idiot by podcast 3, because like I'm going to start like speaking just off the cuff and being completely wrong about where a draft pick came from. So I mean, that's kind of where I can empathize a little bit, but also like it's a big boy job too. And like thinking about the Royals, like they have Jake Eisenberg, who is a Winston-Salem Dash broadcaster, and he's gotten rave reviews from Royals fans, and he had to work his way up. So I mean, like. You go to minor league games, you sit in the booth, or you meet these broadcasters coming up, and there are so many people who have been working really hard for following this one team lifestyle. And so I think like you have to treat it like a big boy job, and get good in a hurry.
And I think, Jim, to that point, like I wonder, like I'm sure he's a baseball fan. Like, I mean, he played baseball, he seems to love the sport, but like if you haven't followed a team extremely closely for years over years, you don't think about the failures of players as much, right? And I think that's somewhere where people are getting upset, is like there's like an overzealousness of them, of like, oh, this guy's going to be a star and this, and it's like, we are White Sox fans, but like every fandom has this of like the 10 guys that they've watched in their lifetime that were supposed to be the next big thing, and like just fizzled, right? Mm-hmm. And now you have a team of like a bunch of, I don't know what half of these guys are going to be, and him acting like they're going to be superstars obviously is being fed to him, but at the same time, maybe there's just not enough, background knowledge of the way things work in the MLB and minor leagues and things to realize that like most of these guys aren't going to make it. Like, especially on this team, like 95% of the team is going to be gone next year, right? Like, so I get where fans feel a disconnect from him on how he feels about the players, and so I think that might be just a case of like not ingesting enough, to your point, of a single team, and like really in enveloping yourself in that team.
So for those that are on soxmachine.com or watching along with us right now on youtube.com/soxmachine, welcome. I'm Josh Nelson alongside Jim Margulis from Sox Machine. Also joined by our friends Beefloaf and Chirizi from the 108. And on Sox Machine and YouTube, you are currently watching a weather radar. We are currently under a rain delay between the White Sox and the Cubs. If you just joined, the White Sox are currently leading 5-0 over the Chicago Cubs as we are in the 5th inning. Luis Robert is in the middle of his at bat. It's a 1-2 count with a runner on second base as Corey Jokes led off the inning with a double. And looking at the weather radar, it's going to clear up here. So this is a weather radar from AccuWeather.com. And it looks like just in a few minutes that it should stop raining at all in Chicago. And we got ourselves a window at least all the way to 9:45 p.m. Central Time, probably a little bit longer to get the rest of this game in. So that's good news on the weather front in Chicago. So hopefully they'll be able to start that game pretty soon. I'm keeping an eye on Twitter here. So just providing an update. And for those that are playback.tv/Sox Machine that have been able to watch the feed with us, I'll send it back over to the Chicago Sky game to give you guys something to watch while we wait for the White Sox and the Cubs to restart. But that is your weather update.
While we issue very ill-advised takes about women's basketball while watching games, apparently that's all the rage.
I was going to say, that's Twitter's filled with them right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been doing all that and being entertained by it. I don't know enough about. I know a lot about basketball just in general in my lifetime, but not enough about this specific league to really weigh in on it. It's just interesting to watch.
I think my favorite thing has been seeing guys that I see that have like Blackhawks and different hockey teams in their stuff and saying like, there's no place for violence like this in a game. And I'm like, your game has fighting.
Yeah. Goons. Literal goons. Well, I laughed when I saw the Chicago Tribune's editorial board discussing flagrant fouls, like having worked in newspapers and like, no editorial board should be weighing in on game action.
Right.
I will say that one thing that like I've watched WNBA over the years, not closely, but like I've watched enough, and like watching the college tournament this year and watching some basketball this year, the shooting in the WNBA has gotten so damn good that I would like to see, like the women compete in like the 3-point contest in the for the like the NBA All-Star weekend. Like use the women's ball, do everything, normal. But like
I think they did.
I would like
Sean saying it sounded familiar.
Okay, I would like to see that. I'd like to see that more. I'm glad that that's happening, because like that the shooters. Like I feel like can shoot with the other team. Obviously, there's a lot of different factors when it comes into an actual game, but like, let's start seeing stuff like that. I'd love it, and it's cool that they did it. I gotta go back and watch now.
My only comment about the hard foul against Caitlin Clark in that Sky game would be if I saw that at Donovan Park, I would see fists fly.
That's correct. Street ball's different, but
yeah, street ball's different.
There would be hands thrown. Yeah,
the hands would have been thrown. That's all I know. Like that would have went down.
Even Chicago Catholic League, that would.
That would have went down. Yeah.
I played in those games. Yeah, when there were fights, it was usually something like that.
All right, so we're commercial break with the Sky game. Let me check back in the White Sox game, see if we got an update here. And the update is that the event is in a weather delay. Awesome. So again, I'll be checking on as far as on Twitter. The other news item since we're waiting. So old friend Jose Rodriguez got busted for gambling, and he is now serving a 1-year suspension. So there was a little bit of drama when the White Sox parted ways with Jose Rodriguez. He was considered maybe someone up and coming that could be a everyday starter for the White Sox at second base. That really never came to fruition. And he joined the Phillies system after being cut by the White Sox, and now he's going to be missing an entire year because of his gambling suspension. One player has been banned for life from because of gambling reasons, even though he only won 4% of his bets, so not really worth it.
It's rough.
But
I like how all these investigations seem like roasts. Like,
well, they are, because
this guy was a gambling and he lost his job.
Like, was it worth it, dude? Like, if you had a winning percentage of like 70%, yeah, go gamble. You're better at gambling than you are playing baseball. But yeah, with Jose Rodriguez getting busted for gambling, he wasn't betting that much. His average bet was about $25.
Yeah.
Overall, you kind of made fun of him on Twitter. So again, back to Jim's point about roasting, you were roasting Jose Rodriguez because he's getting suspended for a year because he bet a little more than $700 total.
In fairness, I wasn't roasting Jose Rodriguez. I was kind of roasting MLB for even digging into someone betting $25 a game. Like, there should be a de minimis for this. Like, like you can't. What is it? A guy bets $1? That's something. Like, you buy scratch-off lottery tickets too. I mean, I don't know. It seemed a little ridiculous to me.
So here's my theory on how Jose got caught. So this happened during the 2022 season. So Rodriguez is playing for the White Sox AA affiliate, the Birmingham Barons. Well, Alabama doesn't allow sports betting. Neither does Mississippi. You could sports bet at a casino, but not on an app. And Florida doesn't have it as well, and Georgia doesn't have it. The only state that the Southern League allows for online sports betting is the state of Tennessee. So when the Barons were on the road, either facing the Tennessee Smokies, which is the Cubs AA affiliate, or the Chattanooga Lookouts, he was just bored on the road, and Jose Rodriguez placed some bets on the White Sox, a little over-under action and how many runs the White Sox were going to score. That is the drama I need to know. What side did Jose Rodriguez bet on? Was he betting against his team that they weren't going to score that many runs in a game? I need to know that information. Don't know how many of the bets that he won, but he didn't bet enough. That's the thing, though. Like, he had to use an app because, Jim, with your 30 minutes of your lifetime spent in a casino, you don't show up on a casino's radar unless you win, more than $400? Because you got to do paperwork.
Oh,
So-
it's like $1,200.
I'm gonna say W2G is $1,200 from a machine. I don't know if there's something different for sports tickets with regards to.
I thought it was like, I think at the racetrack was like 600 something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I that sounds right for a racetrack. Yeah, I think it's different levels. But if you're doing a ticket, if you're just going up to the window, they would have nothing. But like you're saying, Josh, this is an online app, so they would have your information from the app, like however you signed up. So if he put his real name in there, then that would have been the case.
Yeah. So, and that's the point I'm going to get to now. Jose Rodriguez, pretty popular name, like Josh Nelson. That's why it took 2 years to figure out that he was the one placing these bets, because they probably, I'm assuming Major League Baseball gives the sports book operators, here's our entire list. Please cross-check with the people that have accounts with you. It would have to take time. Like, how many Jose Rodriguez's are registered to bet on DraftKings, for example? It's got to be thousands.
Thousands, yeah, for sure. Yes.
And like, who knows what when you're a baseball player, right? Like, your residency, like your driver's license and where you live at this time and all that stuff probably doesn't all match up. So it's very
a good
easy
point.
to put something else down. So like, yeah, I get that. But I mean, I think too, though, part of why we're seeing a lot more people get busted for gambling is because the apps are legal now. So like, there's access to this from the leagues. Like, the leagues can ask for this information. The leagues can check on this. It's not like the old days. It's not like all of a sudden everybody's gambling more. They're using apps that the league can track. And I guess they're dumb enough to do it.
Well,
knowing that, like, it's like
they're gambling more too. I mean, it's easier than ever. So I imagine this does rope a lot of bored people into it.
I don't know though, Jim, because like the apps were just as accessible before, like especially like near the legalization, like you could set up with your credit card and just like go to town on an offshore gambling site that the league would have absolutely no access to. And that like they would never rat you out because what is it in for them? They got you winning at 4%. They would take all your money all day.
League contacts in Cyprus.
Oxide Pride in the comments section of playback.tv, waiting to hear about a player getting popped while betting on Bovada.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. No, you had to put in some real work to find Jose Rodriguez was betting. Unless somebody narked on him. So, like, to your point, Beef, like, congratulations to whoever was doing this investigation for Major League Baseball. It had to take a lot of work to find Jose Rodriguez bet a little more than $700 using an app while he was on the road in Tennessee with the Birmingham Barons.
Yeah, it's
you know, it'd be funny.
We'll see more of these though. I assume more of these will pop up over time. Maybe they won't be specifically in the person's name. They'll have to be more like connection based, because I'm thinking players will start getting smart about this and they'll be using someone else's account to do things, and ways. There's a lot of ways around all this stuff.
But then they win. So what happens if you win a big parlay, and how does that work? I like this comment from TC Bullfrog. If you are a quadruple A White Sox middle infielder prospect, when you narc on your competitors, and that is how Zach Remillard continues to have a job. He is the man that narked at Jose Rodriguez.
He's wearing a wire. James is saying they're pulling the tarp and flexing is warming.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, a guy got thrown under the tarp when they were rolling it out. Not just a normal fan; it was one of the grounds fans.
All right. So hopefully everyone's enjoying this. Like, what a great way to break off the rust and run this test again with playback. And for those that are hopping in again, I'm Josh Nelson alongside Jim Margulis, along with our friends Beefloaf and Treasy from the 108. Again, we're doing this test run with playback, a fantastic app, a fantastic platform, especially for content creators. They have an official partnership with the NBA. So if you're a big basketball fan, you can see a lot of content creators having these types of watch parties during the NBA regular season and the postseason. Right now, playback is trying to get official partnerships with the WNBA and Major League Baseball. So we're helping out right now, running a test watch party on playback.tv/Sox Machine. And for those that are able to watch along with us, we are doing the Mystery Science Theater 3000 type of setting. You could see us and you could hear us on youtube.com/Sox Machine and also on soxmachine.com while you watch the game on your gigantic TV, as we provide a little bit more additional commentary, as we are currently in a rain delay, but we are getting text messages from our Sox Machine beat reporter, James Fegan, who is at Wrigley Field, that the tarp is coming off and play will resume shortly. It's nice. I don't think I'm going to ever get over that. It's nice to have a beat reporter.
Yep. Yeah. So I saw a comment earlier asking if James is going to be on the playbacks, and it's like perhaps when he's not actually at the game. Right now, we're able to send him. So we love that. We hope he's not on many of these, because that means he's actually there for us.
Yeah. Big shout out to our Patreon supporters, by the way, which you could be one at patreon.com/Sox Machine. It helps us support Sox Machine, and it helps support getting James on the road. Of course, Wrigley, I wouldn't really consider that a road game for James, where he lives in Chicago. Wrigley's closer to his house than Guarantee Rate Field. So this is the shortest distance he needs to travel to cover the White Sox this year.
Where's he off to next, guys?
Right now, we have him going to Arizona next weekend. He'll arrive early, as he'll cover some of the Arizona. It's not Arizona
Complex
Fall
League.
League, Jim. The Complex.
Arizona Complex League.
Yeah, so James will be making a stop at the Arizona Complex League, checking in, seeing how that's going, and then he'll cover the White Sox Diamondback series and get all the dirt on Josh Barfield.
That's wonderful. Too bad they moved up George Wolko recently up
Right.
to Kannapolis, right? Otherwise, you got to see him there. That would have been cool.
Yeah. By the way, he might be every bit 6'7" of his listed height on the roster. He is huge.
He's not Andrew Vaughning it. I love it.
Oh no, he's huge. I'm like, this kid is 19. What do they feed kids in Downers Grove? What do they feed them, Jim? As a Downers Grove native,
I'm trying to think. He's on the north side, so they probably get the healthier stuff. That's the nicer side of town. We got loaded up on preservatives. But I'm trying to. It was him and I don't know how to pronounce his name, and that's one thing I want James to report on when he goes to Arizona, how to pronounce Javier, Mogollon. Like, I don't know how to pronounce the name, and I feel like every time I try, I'm insulting his entire family. But he's like 5'9", Wolkow's like 6'7". They were doing a high five at home plate, and basically like needed to do a box jump to reach Wolkow's hand.
Yes.
Magayan. Okay.
Well, while we wait, I'm keeping an eye again, making sure that, because don't get me wrong, I absolutely love seeing this replayed over and over again, that the event is in a weather delay. Let's move over to the next thing that we were going to chat about later during the stream. We'll talk about the injuries for the White Sox. As the way things are going, somebody else is going to get hurt during the game after this rain delay. Who are we buying and who we are selling for Major League Baseball? And I'm bringing the standings up right now. And in the American League, so again, the Guardians were down 5-0 against the Royals and then scored 8 unanswered runs to win 8-5. The Cleveland Guardians are 40-20 at the 60 game mark, which is incredible. And they only trail the New York Yankees in the American League when it comes to wins and losses. So before we get to our other picks, I just want to start with the Guardians because this is one of the biggest surprises in Major League Baseball. So, Chirizi, are you buying or selling the Cleveland Guardians?
I'm buying as long as Jose Ramirez keeps hitting. I mean, like, that's it. The guy is unreal. And like, he's been great for years. And so I still remember the offseason when they were talking about having to trade him, and I'm still mad that they did not. That's a team that can be carried by the bats when they have, reasonably good pitching all along.
How about you, Jim? Are you buying or selling the Guards?
In the division, I'm buying them. Like, I think if they were in any other division, I might think they might have a harder time. But because I think I'm selling the other teams, I think I'm buying the Guardians by default. And
Beef, are you buying the Guardians or are you selling?
I kind of want to sell their current hot start because I don't even know who David Fry is, and he's not going to cover off the ball. Stephen Kwan's not going to hit 360 all year. Like, I just don't believe in the offense. I never have believed in their offense. And like Tracy mentions, like, I'm just been waiting for Jose Ramirez to not be a superstar anymore, and eventually that's going to happen. And so, like, once the offense kind of falls apart there, then I do believe in their ability to make any pitcher into someone, but I don't know. It's just like there's weird things going on in the first 60 games of the season, and some of them I don't believe in. David Fry's one.
Yeah, the Guardians have scored 2 more runs than the New York Yankees, which is the fact that the Guardians are scoring at a rate similar to the Yankees and the way the Yankees continue to hit homers. Very impressive, but the Yankees are currently playing against the Minnesota Twins right now. I'm sure that game's going great for the Twins, as all games that they have against the Yankees always go well, but the Twins are getting some good news. Royce Lewis will be returning to the Twins. And then over in the National League, my World Series pick before the season started, the only thing that really makes me look smart these days, The Philadelphia Phillies, 42-19. They have yet to lose 20 games, which I think someone posed to me, what will happen first? The Phillies winning 50 games or the White Sox winning 20 games? I don't know. I'm hoping the White Sox win 20 before the Phillies lose another game and reach the 20th loss. But Beef, are you buying or selling the Phillies?
Before just a quick interruption, James texted saying 8:50 restart, and George Wolkow is 18 until January. So he is he's in the walls.
What did I say? He was 19, so he's still 18.
Yep. He's in the ventilation system. Look above you.
6'7", 240, 18 years old. Incredible.
Good God. That poor mother.
So he's still filling out.
Yes, exactly. Got a little old man strength.
He was 6 feet tall in third grade. But back to the Phillies. Are you buying or selling, Beef, the Phillies?
I'm buying. I mean, they should hit, and they kind of do hit up and down the lineup. They have the best starting rotation, or have had the best starting rotation, and it's a predictable kind of best starting rotation. I mean, Spencer Turnbull can't even get in the rotation. That's how good it's been. He'd been relegated to bullpen status. Like, yeah, I think they're finally achieving what everyone thought they would achieve when they went down the path and started signing up some of these big free agents. And they had just underwhelmed the entire time. And then, the playoff runs kind of back it up, but they had missing the playoffs. They had, just sneaking into the playoffs. This is finally the full realization of what the plan was. And I could see this continue to go on the rest of the year.
Yeah, they have a big lead over the Atlanta Braves right now in the National League East. How about you, Jim? Are you buying the Phillies or selling?
Buying them. I think maybe not 700 winning percentage good, but they're rock solid name brand talent. They tend to add, tend to be very aggressive. It's a Dave Dombrowski team. So when they're good, I think they continue to be good. I think Dombrowski's weakness is once the wheels start falling off, like he doesn't have any ideas. He's like, well, where's my golden parachute? I'm a spend money guy, not a rebuild guy. So good luck following me. So as long as they're good, I think I'm always buying one of his teams.
Treasy?
Yeah, you got to buy here because I think I have more questions about the Braves than I have about the Phillies, right? With Cunha getting hurt and Reynaldo Lopez being just incredible right now is like, will that hold up? There's just a lot there that you're like, I don't know if they can actually chase them down and take the division from them. And if you put the Phillies into the playoffs, I mean, they do the things that you want on a playoff team. They have good pitching and they hit a ton of home runs. So I don't know. I think you got to buy the Phillies, especially even now, like Turner's out and, Bryson Stott looks fine at shortstop. Everything is just seeming to go their way.
Yeah. The reason I picked the Phillies to win the World Series, I thought the Braves would win the division, but when you get into these 3-game, 5-game, 7-game series, nobody wants to play the Phillies. To the points that you guys have made, like the starting rotation and the big boppers, we all know ball go far, team go far. So that's why I picked the Phillies, because I thought they would perform the best in the postseason. I was not expecting this. A 42-19 record to start the season for the Philadelphia Phillies. So zoom out across Major League Baseball. Tell me a team that you're buying. So, Beef, I'll start with you, man. Who are you buying right now in Major League Baseball?
I mean, I'll buy Tampa just on the level that they'll start getting people healthy, and some of their name brand talent can't be this bad all year long. But weekly, I'm buying them weekly. I think a lot of the teams that I expect to be towards the top are kind of there right now. There's not a lot of and even the teams that I've always liked for a long time, like the Astros, they have enough issues that I'm not buying them anymore. Like I think they've lost enough pitching and the hitting has regressed a bunch, and they're down to just a couple stars. Like Tampa feels like the one out of the pile that could make a run here, that could have a substantial run to get their pitching healthy. So I'll buy the Rays.
All right, Tracy, how about you? Who are you buying?
So, I mean, I think I'm buying them on a massive long shot. I think I'm a team that I just
the Oakland A's.
Right now, kind of close. The Reds. I think only because it's to me a division that is winnable. but I don't really trust any of the teams in that division. And the Reds have all that young talent. That's the kind of team that can make a run. And if you get them at a low enough price, it's something I would buy in on.
I like that pick. The Reds are one of my teams too that I would be buying. Their expected win-loss record is 30-30. They're currently 27-33, so they have been underachieving. To Beef's point, he picked the Rays. The Rays are one of the biggest overachievers right now in Major League Baseball. Their current win-loss record is 30-31. Their expected win-loss is 25-36. So maybe they can continue to overachieve and get themselves back into the postseason. Jim, who are you buying in Major League Baseball?
I think among these teams out of it, like the Diamondbacks feel like the reason why they're bad is because like Corbin Carroll's not good yet, and because Jordan Montgomery seems like he's been plagued by the late signing, like because Blake Snell's having the same problems, like missing a spring. So you can see areas where like maybe they improve just the talent on hand without having to add. When you see who's the holes in their lineup that shouldn't necessarily be as bad as they've been, you can see how they can get better. So I think the Diamondbacks are there. That's about it. Like every other team in the National League is, maybe the Cardinals will finally deliver on. I always thought them being good enough, and then I just kind of gave up on them. Although I did pick them, I think I looked at my preseason predictions. I did pick them for the third wildcard spot because it feels like such a haves and haves not league where like 6 teams get in. Like, I don't know, Cardinals. Like that's kind of my pick for the Cardinals. Like, I don't know. Like they're all going to finish like 82 and 80, like a 5-way tie. So I guess I picked them. But I think the Diamondbacks, with the way they're struggling, they make sense to why they could pick up a few games and end up in the 84 to 85 win range.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks, their expected win-loss record, just like the Reds, should be 500 at 30-30. The one team I'm buying is the Texas Rangers. They're getting some good news. They're getting some guys back. Max Scherzer's going to start throwing again. And I think this Seattle's starting to make some ground here, but I've got a feeling about the Rangers. As soon as I think they're going to get healthy and they're going to make a run in the second half. And the fact they're just 29-31 with all the injuries that they have dealt with, there's always, I don't know. Are you guys big believers in the World Series hangover? Like, I'm starting to be a believer in the World Series hangover. Like, it takes so much to win a world championship. That's hard.
I'm kind of a believer, but also like specific to the Rangers, it felt like very much their offseason was, we just won the World Series. Let's all celebrate. Let's not try to add. Let's not try to repeat.
Well, they've spent so much money.
Yeah.
The last couple of years.
It's like, let's pare back a little bit. So it feels like they set the tone from above and they're trying to patch it up as they go along.
Well, I mean, I also ran the 3 bullpen arms they trusted into the ground in the playoffs too. And it's like a lot of the World Series hangovers is wear and tear on all the extra games. I mean, it's like a level of, oh yeah, we beat you up this year. I remember Cole Hamels after the year after the Phillies won the World Series and stunk. Like that happens to some of these guys. You just go too much.
They need John Brabia. They need Tim Hill.
But the Rangers, they haven't gotten much out of Evan Carter yet or Wyatt Langford, so you can see like some second half boosts if they can, get right by then to where the old Rick Hahn line. We think we'll be able to make major deadline additions from within, and hopefully they have better luck with that.
They also got to keep Corey Seager on the field.
Yeah, there's no question.
And we are getting the feedback right now as the Cubs are taking infield defense. So if you're watching along with us on playback.tv/Sox Machine, I've been passing out some VIP requests. So hopefully that's given some people an opportunity to watch along with us. Let's see how many passes that I have left. But for everybody else that's been watching along with us, if you've been listening to us at youtube.com/Sox Machine and or on soxmachine.com, welcome back. We are back in live action as Shota Imanaga has been taken out of the game for the Chicago Cubs. His night is over. The runner at second base, Corey Jokes, he is still responsible for, as the White Sox tagged Imanaga for 5 runs so far. So again, to reset the game here as we get going again after a brief rain delay, The White Sox are up 5-0 on the Chicago Cubs at the top of the 5th inning. It is a 1-2 count with 1 out. Luis Robert Jr. now batting. He is currently 1 for 2 today with a bloop single. And the first comment is that Tyson Miller seems like a 2002 Chicago Cub. What a callback. As Robert
get out of play.
I was going to say Robert fouls away. Looked like it went to stay in.
Goodness.
It is good to see Luis Robert back in the lineup. I know we talked about his trade value early on in the watch party, but I was really hoping that he can duplicate what he did last season in 2024, because with the talent that he has, as he pops up here, again, I jinxed another White Sox player mid at bat, and Robert pops out. So now there's 2 down. Chirizi, just the way that he played last year, we've been using the Eric Davis comp for a while for Luis Robert, and my hope was that even though this season was going to be bad, that Luis Robert would make it worthwhile to watch White Sox baseball.
Yeah, I mean, is he going to be a guy that we just say like, hey, you're going to get 100 games out of him? It's going to be awesome for 100 games, but like that's what you're going to get. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be like my concern about a Luis Robert, and I don't know. It's hard for me to go. Yeah, I think he's going to give me 130 games a year.
Paul DeYoung now batting for the White Sox as he swings and misses. We do have some comments in our YouTube channel. The game was not canceled, so the bets are still going through. We are back in action. It is currently at the top of the
Jose Rodriguez checking in.
He's got a year off, so he's got nothing to do.
As
fall in there, baby.
Bro Armstrong's got he'll make the play. So after a leadoff double, the White Sox can't move the runner and get the run in. So typical White Sox baseball there. So we go to the bottom of the 5th inning now. It is still 5-0. Chris Flexen should be pitching still, right, Jim?
He was warming up, according to James.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I was wondering.
Splits after a rain delay.
I was going to say, I always wonder in rain delays, like what is the amount of time where you've kind of flipped the script and you don't want to bring someone back? I mean, I still remember Treasy, the rain delay with Michael Kopech, and they brought him back in 2018 and he got injured kind of right with that. Like, not even just from an injury risk standpoint, just from a like effectiveness standpoint. How long do you actually want to wait? And this one wasn't that long, I guess. We're probably 35, 40 minutes of rain delay, something like that.
It was like an old-fashioned pre-pitch clock long inning.
Right. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, obviously, I would say obviously an hour is too much, right? Like you're not going to come back after an hour. But I don't know where between like 30 minutes and an hour it lies. It might be the guy too, right? There might be like a guy like Flexen who's pitched out of relief a bunch, and he's the kind of guy too that like if you look at his splits, like he's the same guy after 4 days of rest that he is after 5, and he gets worse at 6. Like maybe he just kind of rubber arm type of guy, and just like okay, he's fine. There's other guys like if they were bringing Garrett Crochet back out after this, we'd probably all be losing our minds. So like. I think it's a combination of like the kind of pitcher you are and how much the team cares about you.
And before we start with the bottom of the 5th inning, just scores around Major League Baseball. Again, the Guardians beat the Royals 8-5. Maybe a team we should have talked about buying. How do you guys feel about the Pirates as they won 1-0? Jared Jones, again, spectacular in his outing. The Pirates definitely have a great young 1-2 punch in their starting rotation with Jones and Paul Skeens.
I'm nervous about Skeens. Like I just like I don't know what to expect out of him. And then after the 1-2, I don't know what's there. Right? I think I just have way too many question marks about the Pirates. I think I agree with Jim that division is probably something where it's like 82, 83 wins is keeping you in there. I don't know if they're that even.
I think they're feisty. Like it's kind of like they feel like a feisty 75 win team.
As Ian Happ fouls away, continuing with the scores, the Rays, Beef Loaf's team beat the Marlins today 9-5. The Marlins DFA'd old friend Avisail Garcia, so that's an option for the White Sox. The Phillies beat the Brewers 2-1 in 10 innings. The Mets beat the Nationals 6-3. Mets have been a confusing team this season. The Yankees beat the Twins 5-1. The Twins only had 2 hits. The Atlanta Braves beat the Boston Red Sox 8-3, and the Baltimore Orioles beat the Toronto Blue Jays 10-1 in Toronto. That is a team that I'm selling. I'm selling on the Blue Jays. And I do wonder, even though the GM said Beef Loaf, we're not trading Guerrero or Bichette. Yeah. I'm not sold on that.
I'm with you. I didn't think it was a foregone conclusion they wouldn't trade Guerrero before the season, given the check they were having to write for him, and how kind of disappointing he's been as like a bat-only player.
Luis Robert going back.
That's deep. Oof.
Oh, that was almost a home run.
Played perfectly off the wall. Oh, good throw, but too late.
Yeah, so Ian Happ with the leadoff double. We'll see if the Cubs can execute better than the White Sox. It was a good pitch, I mean, for Flexen, but nice job by Ian Happ staying on it.
It's more a matter of like whether the stuff they've seen it now. Even good pitches have to be great pitches, or if they have a notion about what pitch is coming, like location maybe doesn't so much matter.
Well, that's the other thing with the technology and the tablets today. If you are struggling, I wonder if the rain delay, you just put in you pop up the film of Chris Flexen. That, hey, if I'm going to see this guy again, I can, watch more film on him.
Or did they think
Jason
they're not
Bourgeois
possibly going to put him back in?
Yeah, they're looking up Tanner Banks footage.
Tanner Banks is hilarious because when the White Sox have weather delays, they've had quite a bit lately. Pedro Grifol always says that the team is focused at the task at hand. They're ready to play. Tanner Banks will tell James, no, man, I took a nap. Or I went outside and saw it was raining and went back in the clubhouse and kept reading my book. Thanks, Tanner.
I think I saw the column where you clipped those together, Jim, where it's like, and it was like, no, you can't concentrate for that long. Just after Pedro was like, oh, they're concentrating on the game this whole time.
That was classic James. That was using their words and just juxtaposing them, not having to make editorial comment himself.
There you go. It's funny.
Nice jam shot.
Here we go.
This should be caught. Yeah.
Paulie? Yes.
Yeah. DeYoung taking charge out there. Infield pop up.
Yeah. So that's 1 out. So we talked about Robert, we talked about Crochet as far as getting traded, and this is going to be the topic for covering the White Sox for the next couple of months here as we get inch closer to the trade deadline. We talked about on the most recent Sox Machine podcast, like, could Paul DeYoung get possibly traded? Treasy, what are your thoughts about that with DeYoung? And this is the best that he's hitting since 2019.
Yeah, I mean, I think someone's going to have to get very hurt for that to happen. I think you're going to have to. I think you'll need at least one team that's on the fringe of the playoffs have someone go down, because I think if you're a better team, you may have internal options. You may be able to buy something better. But if someone's kind of on the fringe and they're like, we don't have to give up really anything to get this guy, and there's some pop in the bat, and he's going to play a reasonable shortstop, and we don't want to bring up a young kid to do it, those opportunities seem to happen almost every year. So I don't see why we wouldn't be able to trade him. I think you're not going to get anything back. Like you're going to get some low lottery ticket type of guy.
All right, that's a problem. Well, that's
The flex deal is breaking.
Seen enough.
that's the second double allowed by Chris Flexen. So Dansby Swanson, who's been struggling, gets a double, and the Cubs are on the board. It is now 5-1.
Busting him out of his slump there.
If he can get through this fifth inning, though, this is still a very good outing for Flexen.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, even like before the delay, it was fine. Like if it's a case of delay not being great for him, can't hold it against him really. More unfortunate, but
there you go. Double him.
Ooh.
Danny Mendick almost made another great play there. That's the second out. Skuro Armstrong lines out to Mendick. All right, so 2 down. And Amaya now batting for the Cubs. Another team selling, like, are the Cubs bad? Do we know what the Cubs are yet?
I don't think so. I don't think we know for sure what they are yet. I mean, their offense should be much better than it's been the last month, but their bullpen has been bad the entire year. So maybe they may get themselves into a corner where they don't stay close enough to the Brewers where they feel like they can add at the deadline.
So Miguel Amaya flies out to Luis Robert in center. So
that's fun.
Just 1 run allowed by Chris Flexen. That should be it, right? I mean, if he goes 5 innings against the Cubs, allows just 1 run on 3 hits, you take that and you go to bullpen, right?
Yep. Find someone else.
Do you turn the lineup over? Is that 2 times through?
Yeah, that's 2 times through.
Yeah, so.
Yep, exactly so. Josh, I want to slightly disagree with my brother. Paul DeJong will 100% get traded, and not for the reason he said. Every team can use a bench guy like Paul DeJong. Every team can use a guy who plays second, short, third, who hits for power. Those are the guys that make news in the playoffs. Of course, every team can use this guy. I agree with you that they're not going to get much, but I think he's a nice commodity, and he will definitely get traded.
I'm trying to think of teams that could use Paul DeJong right now.
All of them. Anyone that has like Lurie Garcia guy on the bench, then that guy gets bumped, and
The Atlanta Braves.
You know what I mean?
So I put up a poll before the watch party started in playback.tv/Sox Machine. What's the pick tonight? White Sox plus 1.5 or Cubs minus 1.5? Almost 50-50. Cubs 1.5, 13 out of the 24 votes. White Sox 11. You know who I want to hear betting advice from? Joe Girardi. That's who I want to hear betting advice from. Guardians could use Paul DeJong. Are we trying to vex the Guardians?
Why not? Do we care at this point? Who is?
Yeah. It doesn't matter. I don't even know if the White Sox
1 year deal. It's whatever, you know. Like,
I don't even know the White Sox are going to win 40 games this year.
I'm just interested to see what the team looks like if they are able to execute all the trades that like all the podcasts have discussed, right? Because I think we're all talking about like, can you move this guy? Can you move this guy? This guy has some value to some team, you know, like can you get rid of him? Like, let's say they trade like 6 guys. Like we've seen what they have in the minor leagues that they've been bringing up. Like the end of the season can be
That's what I'm saying. Like
hilarious,
a wild ride.
Like
it's like Mike Clevenger and who else? Jake Woodford, Chad Cool.
Exactly. Yeah, I forgot about Chad Cool. They haven't brought him up yet.
Oh, is he still pitching for the Knights?
Yep.
I thought he was just giving.
So Sean in the comments says, I can't wait for Jared Walsh.
That's a good call. Yeah. He's still down there, right? Playing first base.
The comments are great. How many more men named Duke do they got?
So this is what I tweeted out. The players that I think for sure are getting traded by the White Sox before the deadline. Tommy Pham, Eric Fetty, Tim Hill, Rabia, and Flexen. Those 5 for sure, I think, are getting traded.
I don't know about Hill.
Everybody needs a lefty.
He's not a lefty, though.
He
Like he is in name only.
left-handed.
He's a lino.
Screw your reverse splits. Probably getting traded, Dion and Michael Kopech. I think Kopech could get traded.
I think when you get signed for under $2 million, I think it's a matter of like, was that your last contract?
Oh, Tim Hill?
Yeah.
Just to shove it in your face, I hope Tim Hill gets traded to the team that wins the World Series. You know what? Dave Dabrowski's going to trade for Tim Hill. We are bunting with 2 outs. This is going to work.
Yeah, he's going to beat it easily. One for
right out there.
Tim Hill's given up 400 batting average and 467 OBP to lefties this year.
That's fine.
Lefty
Bring him in face
specialist.
righties.
Lefty specialist.
Righties are hitting 359.
Here's the thing, though.
Josh is suddenly not an analytics guy.
Jim's right now. But I'm on side with Josh because you know what? The next month or two, he might look a lot better. And it's like, okay, there you go. This guy's on your team. That's how bullpens go sometimes.
Danny Mendick almost got picked off at first. Woo, that was close. And
Out there for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a slow. Oh, that was slow.
Yeah. Extra step, stutter step, a Euro step.
James, can they trade Andrew Benintendi? No.
Not looking good. Dre says looking like B-flip out there. I move a little better than that. Well, I'm not that fast, but slow. I'm more nimble.
I think you dive back into first base every time.
Head first. I would be a head first guy. That's how I was when I played baseball. Yeah. I want to show that I worked.
Roll around. No angels.
Ooh, I was gonna say that's a good pitch. Lenine Sosa batting. He's 2 for 2. He had that big 2-run homer after his 27-mile-per-hour exit velocity single. And that's strike 2 as he whiffs. I like so you got Adam Beefloaf Eden.
Adam Eaton Beefloaf.
Darren Beefloaf Erstad. Now that's a shout out. Jeff Beefloaf Keppinger. Just remembering his final tweets. And that's
you couldn't do that for that alone, I think. It doesn't work.
Look at real quick before I say this. Yeah, I'm bigger than all these guys. You guys are tiny compared to me.
All right, full count, 2 outs for Sosa. And fouls it off.
After this game, the Cubs are going to put Lenine Sosa in their Hall of Fame before Sammy Sosa.
That's still bizarre to me. Stay fair.
In there, baby.
No. Foul.
See, there's a 4-letter last name on the back of that jersey, and it looks so tiny. It's just like,
oh, Sosa.
Yeah, it looks like a child's jersey.
What is that Chinese company that everybody uses to buy knockoff jerseys?
Oh man, I'm blanking on it now, but yeah.
DH8. Thank you,
DH8.
Sean. Oh, that's ball 4.
Wow. There you go.
Look at him.
Sosa. Look at you.
Good game for Lenyn Sosa. Has been on base all 3 times, and now it is the slugger Martin Maldonado. Dangerous
baby.
spot. Dangerous spot for the Chicago Cubs.
They walked Sosa to get to the pitcher.
Disrespectful.
Maldonado has put the ball in play today. He's 0 for 2.
0 for 27. Here we go. This could break the Cubs right here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he talked about how he needs glasses, and the comment section's pointing out he's not wearing glasses.
Probably misses his old glasses.
He needs those orange Rick Vaughn glasses. I want
Yeah.
Lord. Those.
Oh, Lord. And Miller throws another slider like that. That'll be the end of this inning. Vince, I haven't watched many White Sox games this year. A 246 OPS.
Have to see it to believe it, Vince.
Oh, yeah.
That was there.
The one that was right
It was
in
there.
huh?
Come on, Martine.
Just imagine him hitting a double, and as he's rolling into second, spontaneously combusting like a Spinal Tap drummer.
He's like Kit Keller. He only likes the high ones. He didn't like that one.
I thought he was
There
gonna
was
swing
one.
He loaded up too. Like, let's go, baby.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Ron
Jim
Karkovice,
Chase.
87, hit a negative 20 OPS plus.
Oof.
It's only 120% below league average.
I remember he batted 071 because it was less than Carlton Fisk's number.
Wow. Well,
Was
all
that the year they played Fisk and left to accommodate letting Karko catch, or am I thinking of the wrong year?
I think it was Joel
86.
Skinner they were trying to accommodate.
Oh, Joel Skinner. Okay, you're right. That's right.
full count, 2 outs for Maldonado.
There
Well,
it is.
That's
it's
in there,
been
baby.
put in play. Lenyn Sosa should have interfered, give Maldonado a fighting chance. But a weak ground out, and we now head to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is still 5-1. Thank you, everyone, for joining us with this watch party. Again, I'm Josh Nelson alongside Jim Margulis from Sox Machine, along with our friends Beefloaf and Treasy from the 108. So if you've been watching along with the game with us on playback.tv/Sox Machine, or watching along with us on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Sox Machine, or on soxmachine.com, welcome. And yeah, if you guys got questions or comments, we're going to be pulling them from the comment section. A lot of the material that I have, we had to waste during the rain delay. Thanks, Mother Nature. We had this comment. Anyone here notice the Sox Talk account tweeted a video of Chuck Garfien and Ryan McGuffrey trashing Andrew Benintendi on their podcast, then deleted it?
Oh.
Did you guys see this video?
I follow the White Sox Talk account, and it follows me, but I don't pay attention to it. So my apologies.
It's wild that the state media broadcast.
What a great way to setting the stage. I follow them. They follow me. I don't pay attention to them.
Really transactional. No love.
We're friends like that. But I've said on the 108 podcast, I don't often listen to the state's media podcast unless they have some guest that's really interesting to me. Like I listened to the Paul Janish one just because I haven't heard Paul Janish talk much, so I wanted to hear what he had to say. So no, I did not see the video.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I mean no. I was saying something similar to Beef. It's state media, and the state took it down. I'm not shocked. Like
Sam Reeves says, Beefloaf, just like me with the 108 account. Okay, keep it up. Keep that up. All right.
we just said, well, there's a picture of what we're gonna do to you.
No, I didn't see that. NBC Sports Chicago account get a little feisty. Some selections, some choices were made with photo choices of recapping games in Milwaukee. And now with the new network coming in October and the uncertainty of who's going to be hired over to that new network, it's a very creative name, the Chicago Sports Network.
Thought long and hard about that one.
They sure
Research
did.
groups and everything.
CHGO kind of feeling like, hey, that's our turf. I wonder if like you're like, it kind of makes sense because Marquis also in town. So I guess if you just want to be like, try to phrase it so you're the default Chicago sports network, makes more sense here than something being over or under workshopped.
Yeah, that's true, and especially because you're gathering together the other three main teams. Like, nice.
Justin Anderson's newly elevated medium leverage guy. Like he's either in Charlotte or he's pitching important innings.
It's weird, right?
That's what you want. We gotta get some comments on YouTube. Baj, can the Cubs make a comeback? Your thoughts? Probably. If anything holds up like over the weekend.
If I look at the Sox record, I don't really believe that the Cubs can make a comeback, but anything is possible.
Seiya Suzuki now batting with one out in the bottom of the sixth inning. Sean, this Cubs team is reminding me of the April 2024 White Sox. Yikes.
That's tough.
Not good for the Cubs. Sean also had a point. So I asked you guys this question, like rearrange sports radio. If you had to come up with personalities for a morning show, a mid-morning, and afternoon drive, who would you pair up for those three shows? And Sean's asking, who would you like to do the pre and post game on the new network? Assuming if it's not Chuck and Ozzy going to the new network.
I mean, the post game show on TV or post game call-in show, because man, we need Ranger back. If they're gonna take calls, it's gotta be Raji. Because like,
do you think he's got the wherewithal to handle that these days? Like he's an older man than he was when he was handling those before. Like that was great
like
radio.
He probably wakes up in the middle of the night responding to callers, like just like.
Wakes up in a cold sweat.
Stop writing into the show. I'm in a different.
He's doing St. Louis radio now.
Is he still doing kind of part of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can't imagine them going away from Ozzy. I think Ozzy's just entertaining. He's just an entertaining guy. He's insane. He's beloved by fans. Like, I think I would be shocked if they didn't stick with Ozzy. Now, who goes with them? I mean, Beef, we talked about this a little bit. I don't know if you want to throw anything out there, but like definitely a lot of ideas out there for that position.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. There are a lot. I mean, there's a lot of like potential hosting situations there for Ozzy. I mean, but working well with Ozzy is the key there. And I don't know what the right mixture is or who the right person would be to kind of do that. It's a tough spot if you ask me, because that's your job to wind up that toy and get it going and have it do its thing, and some days I'm sure Ozzy does that on his own, but other days I assume, that's Chuck getting him going.
Well, also like Garfine's really good at bridging the, I guess, dialect barrier in terms of oftentimes like, kind of clarifying, like he knows when to step in and say like, it didn't quite sound right with your first attempt. And like, just kind of steers them and corrects course. I think he's like, basically he's really just gotten a habit of like knowing Ozzy's rhythms and then knowing when to interject and say like, it's, make sure we're all talking about the same thing here. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, totally agree. It's a good partnership. I would agree 100% with you there, man.
I'm assuming.
I think Layla was pretty good at that too when she was on it. Like, but it takes, I think, probably like a full season or two just to kind of understand. Make sure that the voice you're hearing in terms of your own ear is like matching what the listeners might be hearing at home who don't like sit in pregame meetings with him or watch a game and like understand exactly like especially gets wound up and the words start flying. I think Garfin's gonna like slow him down a little bit to be like, all right, just reset it, because that when oftentimes when like Garfine gets to him to elaborate, that's like when the gold comes out.
Well, I guess that's a good point, Jim. And I guess a question that I would have looking at the new network and how they're going to do things is how much overlap do they want to have between these hosts, right? Like how much are it's not like the org has ever been cheap, but I could imagine them trying to pull double duty out of some of these people. So you could see like a Layla doing Bulls and Blackhawks and Sox in some respect, or someone like Alyssa doing both Bulls and Blackhawks or Bulls and Sox. Like I could see situations where they're like, we're only gonna have two people that host, and they kind of mix it up. I don't know, like that's
working 45 days straight.
Yeah, I mean, like the way RSNs are going, and the fact that like this seems to have been pulled together in like a matter of weeks. Like,
college kids, first job out of college. Oh, you're third biggest market. Have fun.
I just let Goff do hockey. I think the person who's like the who's more like the main driver of the show, right? Like the host could move show to show more so than the other person on the show. But who knows? Who knows what they decide to do? You could treat it like sports radio and just be like, you cover all the sports.
Rick Hahn actually could be okay. Matter of like if his like autopilot's off. Because in candid moments he can be pretty funny and like he's pretty good, pretty talented in terms of like sound bites and such.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, losing Bellinger there was brutal.
Yeah. So Anderson hits Bellinger with a slider on the back leg. I had 1-2, and then Chris Morrell, who had the costly error that gave the White Sox the lead, now hits a 2-run homer. So it's 5-3 White Sox at the bottom of the 6th inning.
This doesn't bode well.
I see the comments already. Well, it was fun. They were up 5-0. Here we go.
It's like bullpenning right now is a little too Justin Anderson centric.
Yeah.
Mailman Jack, Josh, any more rain coming? Unfortunately.
I thought you were going to read a different Mailman Jack comment. I was like, oh yeah, I like this one.
No, I'm really curious about this sports network because it looks like they're bringing the president over from Stadium, who reported to Silver Chalice, which Silver Chalice is ran by Jerry Reinsdorf and Brooks Boyer. So there's already that existing partnership. I'm curious if they actually do need to fill 24 hours worth of coverage and how much of that is filled by Stadium. But yeah, like pre and post game shows, I wonder if it's still just going to be the existing teams that they have, but we'll see. There's obviously a cost to it as well.
Yeah, I have a lot of ideas for what they could be. I have seen like FanDuel is getting into the RSN game for sure, and like if you ever tuned into FanDuel TV, either of you?
No.
It's like a free channel on like the Roku app. But Beef, this will appeal to you. Is one of the things that they do is they don't fill the off hours with like, here's some old game or here's some
infomercials,
here's some minor league game or something, or infomercials. They buy up these like leagues in different countries, right? Like so, like a Russian hockey or the Chinese basketball league and things like that would be on like early in the morning that you can bet on are on their station, right? And it's like, I bet you could get more people watching that, knowing, oh, I could put a few bucks on this and watch this at 4:30 in the morning, than you can just like running some goofy stuff like that these stations seem to fill their time with.
Tanner Banks is now pitching for the White Sox, replacing Justin Anderson. Generous strike call given to Banks. It's up 0-2.
We'll take it. Yeah, Sean says he's messing with his reading time. Yeah, absolutely. He probably was napping. Like, get up, get down here.
I like we're now getting the Russian hockey in the comments section. Low paid Russian hockey league betting on FanDuel TV. What could go wrong? I'm sure they have had 0 betting suspensions. Do they even care in Russia?
Players to bet on this. I'm just saying, make this available to people to watch. Well, they're already betting on it.
Are the players betting on themselves?
Well, I mean, let's find out some of that information. Let's get some bets in with them. Someone's throwing a game. I want to know about it.
So you get on that side.
Yeah. See a line move all of a sudden in one of those games, you know something's down.
Well, this has been a rough 6th inning for the White Sox.
Yeah,
Banks
no doubt.
gives up a leadoff single.
Everything after 2 outs as well. I mean, they kind of had it going for them, and then blowing it up now.
Our friend down in Melbourne, Australia, AJ, a few Aussie sports are trying to break the USA gambling market. So there's your 2 a.m. content.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
You guys have been awesome in the comment section. Again, thank you guys so much for joining us in our first watch party back. And it's good to be back. I miss these.
Damn right it is.
But
As
Josh,
Patrick-
deep in your heart, how upset are you that the rain delay happened and you're gonna have to wait till like 10:30 to watch the new Star Wars show?
A little upset. That might be a early Wednesday morning viewing. It's gotten great reviews. People got a chance to see it in the movie theater. I was a little jealous that they were able to do that. But we are bringing that podcast back.
Heck yeah.
Come on, Tanner. But yeah, FanDuel is gonna purchase the naming rights for the whatever remains of the Diamond Sports Group. So it won't be Bally Sports anymore. It'll be FanDuel. As Tanner's down now 2-1 in the account to Patrick Wisdom, who is pinch hitting.
It's a pinch hit ground out.
Yeah, I'm gonna say they're going for the throat here.
I remember when there was an argument from the Cubs' perspective, could Patrick Wisdom be an everyday player?
I do remember that as well. He's got a ton of power. I mean,
I shouldn't joke. He'll probably will be playing for the White Sox next season.
he'll be playing third for us. Can't wait.
We did just get a text for Beef. I don't know if you saw that. It was from one of our gambling friends.
Yeah, I did see it too.
Told us, hey, the Cubs were the Cubs were only plus 270 when they were down 5-0.
Great.
Oh, did he go?
Oh, it was very friendly.
Oh boy. Paulie asking, did the White Sox win the Nick Magical trade for Craig Kimbrell?
That That was a funny answer on your show yesterday, Beef. When you were talking to Danny.
Nobody won.
He said both teams lost.
Lost. Yeah, that's what he said. That is gone.
Gone.
There's Patrick Wisdom home run. Pinch home run.
2-run homer
was
from
quick.
Patrick Wisdom. Yep.
That was quick.
Yeah. That's 2024 White Sox right there.
Oof. Have a good night, everyone.
Yeah, it's been fun.
He is fired up, man. Man. My guy Tanner Banks getting lit up too. Goodness.
Well, Robert can catch this one at least. Well, that inning was awful. We go to the 7th inning. Tie ball game, 5-5.
Yeah, well, the White Sox are getting the Cubs offense going here, like I predicted. So it's minor dub.
I get to see this in person tomorrow. That's
That's
awesome.
right. Yeah,
You
that's
do,
right.
yeah. That was in our topics here. So where are you sitting, fancy boy?
I'm sitting in the 1914 club, so I will probably be the only Sox fan back there. I'm gonna guess, but actually, I'm bringing Cornsey with me, so we'll be the only 2 Sox fans back there. But so it should be interesting times. But yeah, I mean, it's it's one good thing about working at a place for a long time, having tickets, and them knowing you're the only idiot that's a White Sox fan.
Now you've been 1914 club before, Teresi. What's the things you like down in there? Because I've heard they really deal nice. They got bar and food and everything. So
Food's good. I was there on I think it was a Thursday or Friday, or maybe it was a Saturday. It was a Saturday. I got the tickets for a game and went with a couple of people from work, and it was a rain delay. So we got there and the game started in a delay, right? And they'll serve you whatever down there. So we're drinking old fashions. So we would just have a bunch of old fashions, and we're like, man, this is great and everything. And I was about to just head home. I think the game was a 6 o'clock game on a Saturday. It's 8:30. I'm like, oh, I'm probably gonna get out of here. And they're like, game starts in 30 minutes. It's like the second inning. We're all like, all right, we're going home.
that's enough.
Well, Jim's back, so that means the White Sox are coming back after they touched
What happened? Hey, what happened?
the comment, formerly the cheat. The White Sox just keep running into these hot teams. That's what keeps happening. White Sox are catching all these hot teams at the wrong time.
Yeah, we need the Schriffen feed. Seems like it's been fairly quiet on the front. I haven't seen many comments.
That's the soundbite I'm going to keep forever. We don't care how many L's we got. I love that. Love it. All right. Corey Jokes 1 for 3. Ooh, might have been 1 for 4 there, but that call benefits Jokes. That was a close call. That's a good pitch.
Yeah. I think the catcher oversold it.
Probably. And Jokes fouls it off. All right, so the Cubs have the 1914 section. Have you ever sat in the Scouts Lounge for the White Sox?
I've not. Surprisingly, I've not. But I have been in the suites at the Sox. And so
They're nice.
The suites are nice. I like those. I think one of my favorites was the seats we got at the you got us at the Bulls game, Josh.
Oh yeah,
Those were really cool. Because I feel like that's something about basketball too. Is like when you got a good view at a basketball game, you just feel so close and so in there on the game that it's a really exciting look at the game.
Yeah, it's
the contact. That's what the one time I sat that close to an NBA game, you just hear the amount of physical contact among guys like positioning the post, like not even touching the ball. Just you think, oh, I played like 25 minutes and took 8 shots. How much did they do? And then you realize like how much they're actually just crushing each other.
Yeah, it's very physical game.
Also, because like on TV, they're just all the same size, so you just think, oh, they're just coasting along.
Right.
And you get some sense of scale when you're down that close, and like, oh yeah, these are just gargantuan people.
These are ginormous humans.
Yeah.
Guys that look small on the court, when you see them up close, you're like, these people are bigger than I am. Like,
So with 2 outs, Luis Robert now batting.
See if he can get something towards the left side of the field. Seems like he's got that swing where it kind of like almost like scoops the ball in the air to the right side. There you go.
That's a deep fly.
That
is way gone.
Get out of the stadium.
Wow.
That's exactly what I want to see. So thank you.
Luis Robert
You
Jr.
called it,
is
Jim.
back.
Beautiful.
That is the second hit of the night. Exit velocity of almost 110 miles per hour from Luis Robert. 448-foot home run.
My
Good
God.
to have Luis back.
It sure is. All right, so the White Sox retake the lead. Maybe things are going to be different.
Easiest way to not get hurt is just jog around the bases.
Yeah, when
Hey,
he said he's
hold
going
on.
to take it easy on the base paths, I'm glad he
Hold
meant
on,
it like
Jim.
Way to do it.
Benintendi hit a home run, and then he was pulled from the game. That we were at in Milwaukee. That is not a true statement. You can decide to hurt yourself when routing the bases.
Decide you've had enough.
Really wish
I've
you
had
retired.
Jim, your comment on that, I was cracking up when you're like, I thought he like had like a John Kruk moment and just like, I'm gonna hang it up.
Oh, the Yon hits one deep. And it's not going to make it.
Oh man, that guy's Aaron Bummer mad coming off the.
Oh, it's the 7th inning stretch at Wrigley Field. Man, is that the press box? Do we see James?
See Patrick Mooney.
Shelly ain't had one drink tonight.
No.
Oh, no, never.
All right, get to the song, Chris.
More grandstanding than Gene Honda. Oh, did I say that?
Wow. A lot of White Sox fans in the bleachers. Save Ferris? Why? Ugh, whatever. Movie sucks. I said it. I said it.
Band too.
All right, so let's look at some of the questions in the comments section while Chelio sings the 7th inning stretch at Wrigley Field. If Benintendi, Vaughn, and Maldonado all went to the injured list, how much better do the White Sox get? It's a lot of negative WAR.
But what are you replacing it with, right? Like
Zach
I think that's
Remillard.
the question, right? Like, so I assume you get a little bit more Corey Lee, but you got what, like
Chucky
coming up?
Robinson. Yeah.
So I don't
Catcher
know
could
what,
be a plus. The other positions, not so much.
I mean, you would have
you'd have Sheets at first, but then what are you replacing Sheets bat with? Elko?
Zach Deloche.
Like you're gonna have to make some 40-man moves to make this work. because the guys you got on the 40-man, it ain't looking good.
Great remake.
Well, I mean, Sheets is your first baseman. Yeah,
Especially
I don't know,
with
maybe it's not
Stan
much
and
worse.
Fletcher both out. It's hard.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Like who's your DH?
That'd be funny if they put Benintendi in the 60-day injured list. It's like, I should be back in 7-10 days. 60 days. Stay down.
Well, when they needed to move today, the 40-man move, I thought they were going to throw Eloy on the 60-day.
They still haven't put Davis Martin on the 60-day.
No. Isn't he supposed to be like coming back soon? But I guess it doesn't matter. You could throw him on there retroactive and be fine,
Yeah.
right?
So White Sox trade target John Brabia.
I didn't realize how quickly his beard gets out of control. Like,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I know he grows that out all year, but like, it's already.
Yeah, it's a mess already.
I was robbed because the White Sox on-field person or the game day operations did not realize that it was the 9th inning when John Bravia was entering the game. So I was robbed of my moment, Chirizi. I wanted the light show with "Wake Me Up Before You Go," and it should have happened. They had no clue that it was actually in the 9th inning. I hope that was not lightning that I just saw at my window.
Yeah, not
Actually, maybe I do. Come on,
Yeah.
Ray, let's go.
Depends on the score.
Well, assuming he gets through the inning. Yeah.
There you go. Nice. Boy, Johnny.
Robbie is good in the rain, though. He's a mutter.
He is a mutter. Yeah, yeah.
If he was able to come out to Wake Me Up Before You Go, do you have like a gasoline fight in section 108?
If we had access, we would. Yeah.
MSS lights a cigarette right after.
Throws it on us all.
Gonna put the statue of that up there too.
They died doing what they loved.
Bravia, I don't want to jinx it. Bravia holds on here, and you got Leisure the 8th, Kopech in the 9th. They got a shot. Mailman
Leisure's
Jack,
in a
John
slump, though, right?
He is, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Mailman Jack, John Bravia looks like his job should be fixing the supports of the Bridgeport viaducts.
Oh,
Yes!
what a catch!
Oh.
Yes.
Gavin! Hey,
Gavin Sheets! Where did that come from? Are you serious?
when it was being caught, I was like, who's that out there in right field?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Gavin Sheets.
When he hit the ground hard, you knew it was Gavin Sheets.
They got the grounds crew out there putting the divot back in. And he ripped out.
It's not really much of a dive, just like a lean, but
Just tumble.
he tumbled.
It's like throwing a couch out a window.
Tracy, it's like when we got to be on the field taking batting practice with Goose Island all them years back, and I went down the line to make that catch, and I caught it, and I fell and rolled all over.
You're
It
like,
was that play.
I dove for that one. And me and your wife in unison said, "Fell."
What a great catch by Gavin Sheets.
Beautiful.
A scoreless 7th inning. So the White Sox still have the lead going to the 8th.
She should have fell to the ground with a goatee and came up with just a beautiful Larry Sheets mustache. Like that should have been the result of that play. Wow.
Yeah, so Leisure's got 6 walks over his last 4 1/3. So
Is that bad?
a little bit.
He's got it this time.
Everybody's calling Sheets home run now. That's
I like it.
Well, White Sox are facing the Cubs bullpen.
We haven't talked about this yet, and it's not on the rundown. But Jim, I saw you wrote about it earlier today. The Duke Ellis promotion is interesting to me. I went and did a baseball reference search of that like style of player, and it surprised me how many have gotten a lot of plate appearances since 2000. I was kind of looking like it's almost in a way looks the profile, and I'm not sure he's polished enough to even get receive this, but like it reminds me of Jerry Owens when they brought him up in 2007. It's just like, let's just throw the speedster in there and see what could happen.
It seems like, kind of Tony Campana is the best maybe likeness in terms of just like, here's a guy who runs really fast and has some idea of what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like one step above Terrence Gore. Let me see what Terrence Gore did in like AA, just because Billy Hamilton was a better player in AA. And also like a better defender, especially in the outfield.
And one of the things I was looking at when I was doing this query is like this guy's strikeout rate is kind of higher than these guys generally have. Not enormously higher, but just higher in general. These guys usually make more contact. These types of players.
Yeah, so Gore wasn't much of a hitter in AA. So maybe just like a step above Terrence Gore in terms of at the plates, but. Similar concept of just hope either he gets on base somehow or gets on base for somebody.
Well, we don't have the John Shriffen feed, but Jim, you'll have to check the Sox Machine VC group chat. Dr. Fegan has made an appearance.
It's a good advertisement for the VC.
It sure is. Duke Ellis, 40 grade contact, 25 grade power.
Ooh, yeah. What's the defense like on a Duke?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about too.
Great range. He could run.
No arm.
I don't think he's better than I think Jacob Burke might be a better defender in center.
Okay.
No.
So it's not like a Billy Hamilton where Billy Hamilton was just tremendous defensively. Right?
Yeah. I think he's okay or good, but not but he can be outplayed by somebody like Burke.
Yeah, I think he's here to pinch run.
We'll find out if Maldonado gets on base.
Stay fair.
Yeah, that's what it is. Duke, you are here when Martin gets on base.
If Martin gets hit by a pitch next inning, we know where Duke is going to come in.
But Corey Lee's DHing, right?
Yeah, then you put they have
lose
not
the DH.
They have not been shy about doing this. We were at a game the other night and was like, I need this to get around because Kopech's going to have to hit.
That's what dreams are made of.
Matt Albers moment.
You were at that game, right, Jim?
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
I've told people that once or twice.
Albers is such a beautiful plus-size man.
Oh, man.
You guys met him, didn't you?
Albers,
Sox
no.
prom?
No, I wish I would.
No, I wish. We met Ricky.
Yeah,
we're
we
taller
met
than Ricky by quite a bit. Not as much as we're taller than Andrew Vaughn, but taller than him on the bus.
I kind of wanted to meet Brian Ramos this year, but the line was 10,000 people deep.
We heard he smells great.
Yeah, that's what we heard.
Great. That was an actual comment we got.
Like Jimmy John, smells are free.
Sean, Courtney Finnecum said I look like Andrew Vaughn at the live podcast, and I've never been more offended. Oh, the comment section's been awesome. All right, Danny Mendick now batting with 2 outs. So it's the TV bug. This is a great screenshot. Little Mendick. It's the sport bug.
Make sure we get that. Hang on. Okay, good.
Yeah, that's a print screen moment.
Don't know when I'll need that, but I'm going to need it at some point. So.
This is great.
Let's go, Dini.
And chopper to Hopper to Swanson.
Oof.
That's the eighth for the White Sox. We go to the bottom of the eighth inning. The Cubs and White Sox. The Sox are still up 6-5. Tight game here. Love it for our first watch party. Not a blowout. We'll see if the White Sox can hold on. I think we got to everything. Yeah, Rodriguez busted for gambling, and I shared my conspiracy theory on how that happened. Oh, White Sox injuries. Anyone else laugh when Tommy Pham went on the injured list?
It made sense why he was so mad at Eddie Rodriguez. Because I thought the send was like not a great send, but also it's the send of a desperate team. But like there are worse ones you can kind of understand, like especially if you're used to watching Andrew Benintendi throw home. Like I can see him being like, oh, he's got, it's 50-50 play when it really was like 75-25. But I could see like if you know your ankle's hurting and you might have to go on the injured list and like you feel like you're sent to your doom, like I could see why he'd be extra salty.
Yeah.
Sockside pride. Pham got hurt shot at boxing. Yeah, so Pham on the injured list. Dominic Fletcher, your guy, Beef.
I know, Fletch. And he made a great play in center field, too, which caused the injury, unfortunately. It's like a Dwayne Wise situation. But, yeah, that's upsetting because now was his time to get some plate appearances and kind of see what he's going to look like, especially with Benintendi going to the IL. Just absolutely brutal.
Yeah, Fletcher says he's out 2 to 3 weeks, if not longer, and he'll probably need a rehab appearance. So when you're looking at the calendar, it might be early July. Maybe he gets back to the White Sox before the All-Star break.
What vomit would we have had playing on the field if Luis didn't come back? Like who's playing center field?
Duke Ellis.
Is it just Duke Ellis or you like a Colas or someone out there? Like, I mean, like,
is Colas still on the team?
I don't know. Did he get sent back down?
No,
Somebody
he's there.
moves
I don't
him.
think I saw him move.
Yeah, you would have had. Oh God.
Yeah.
Jolks, Ellis, Sheets
Sheets in center.
Sheets at center.
They never see it coming. They might as well try it.
After that play he made last inning, I think that's the best option.
I mean, well, the sixth inning, Sheets didn't have to do much. Just watch the ball fly over your head into the bleachers. Leisure hitting 97. He's throwing harder, Beef.
I know it's the secondaries I'm worried about that don't seem to be effective enough to get the strikeouts from him.
Sean, I don't need that negative energy. That's a strike.
That's a good looking pitch there. Yeah,
and
Sean, we're not doing that.
Yeah, we're not doing 16 innings.
We're doing 9 innings tonight. So hope it doesn't tie up.
Whether you like it or not.
Whether the White Sox and Cubs like it or not. That's a good slider. Arbo 57 on YouTube. Does it make any sense to have a guy with an OPS under 250 be the only catcher because your other catcher's DHing, which means he really can't be pinch hit for? Listen, I'm one to never question the genius of Pedro Grifol. Okay, Gavin Sheets make another great play.
Look at that guy.
In the shadows, he's got it, baby.
Standard fly out, but it's extra exciting when it's Gavin Sheets.
Pumping that war up.
Sheets is winded. It's like, damn. Oh my gosh, the White Sox have no cards. They have cards for the outfielders.
He was just reading a fortune from his fortune cookie earlier. He's like, it came true.
I was gonna say that's a parlay card he's checking out. A little too topical, I guess.
Oh, all the Jose's plays hit today.
Longest game with the extra innings rule is 16 innings.
How? How did it get that far?
Let's take a look.
All right, Jordan. Jordan Leisure down 3-0 in the count to Cody Bellinger. Here's walk 7 coming up in the last 5 innings.
Oof.
Yeah, there's his walk. So that Dodgers Padres game that went 16 innings, scoreless from the 10th inning through 14. Dodgers scored 2 in the top of the 15th. Padres scored 2 in the bottom of the 15th, and then Dodgers scored 2 again in the 16th.
How do you go through 4 innings of Manfred Man and not scoring a run? Bizarre.
That's crazy.
Gonna need Morel to roll over one here.
Tim Hill throwing a scoreless inning. That's how.
Yeah, damn right. See?
The very tradable Tim Hill, by the way.
Yeah. All right. So Chris Morel now batting. It's been a night for Morel. Some bad. Good was a 2-run shot. Need him to hit into a double play here.
Yeah, do more of that.
There's some Javier Baez with Christopher Morel, especially offensively. Very
offensively.
aggressive.
Defensively, not so much.
No, defensively not. Okay, Jordan Leisure is nowhere close right now.
I don't know that that's a bad thing against Morel.
Okay, good point. Yeah, let's not hang this slider. Here it comes. And the slider. Oh, okay.
Off the plate.
So many drone shots. So Morel really wants that high fastball. Kopech was good in Milwaukee Saturday. Remillard just misplayed it, but that 9th inning was pretty electric from Kopech. It's nice to watch a tense game for the White Sox.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the one in Milwaukee was. We were.
I don't know. I felt like
on the edge of our
so
seats
how's
the entire time.
Milwaukee's winning this? Just how are they doing it? Oh, come on, Paul! Didn't get it to second in
nope.
time.
Couldn't get either of them.
Terrible.
Couldn't get it out the glove.
Got what you wanted.
Let's see. It's like oftentimes these like feet first slides. They take longer to get to the bag than you think. Nope,
Yeah.
I guess not.
Go for the replay.
Yep.
So infield single for Chris Morel. Leisure got the grounder that he needed, but Dion just couldn't move to the left. He slid. He was on his knees and just couldn't get the ball out in time.
Yep.
Yeah, he's safe. That should take about 30 seconds.
White Sox not challenging the call.
Yeah, you did like roll it. You're not the.
Oh, okay.
All right. Ian Happ now batting. Happ's having a good night. He's 2 for 3. I see that the chat has been very optimistic right now.
Right. Feeling good.
And
Oh, no. Gavin Sheets not catching that one.
No, it's not going to make it there for that one.
And Morel's going to score for first. Not even close.
Yeah, that was not close.
And
Wow.
yeah,
Still only one out.
only one out. And And Jordan Leisure's struggles continue.
Yeah, it's not
The
good.
White Sox are just running into the Cubs when the Cubs are red hot.
Yeah.
This continues to happen to the White Sox. Really unfortunate.
Just absolute shocking turn of events that we have here.
These
And
things
the
never happen.
The White Sox are the team that I could fix them, and they always seem to. I don't know. It's very weird.
Cubs are excited. White Sox fans probably at Wrigley be like, yeah.
No, at this point, it's like just fascinating to me. Like, I'm not mad. I'm impressed.
Well, I feel like, Jim, it was like pretty quick into the season that everyone that does what we do was emotionally out on the team.
Yeah.
It's like I'm taking a very different angle on the season.
Good news is Kopech will probably get the day off.
Yeah, more than likely.
Be ready for tomorrow. This, like, a 1-run game in the 9th would be like a perfect time for Duke Ellis to be on base if somebody can get on base for him.
Yep.
Like, that would be good theater. I would fear that he get picked off. Like, just being too amped to make, because he's he's very entertaining, but I could just see like his aggression just being used against him early on until, and who knows if he'll have enough time to actually like figure out the rhythms of like pitchers and like moves and such. But he'll definitely want to go if he's on as soon as possible. Although if he gets picked off, he could actually beat the throw. Like, you just had to keep running.
Yeah, you just run. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he can't get picked off going back.
So they've got Colas, Deloach, and Nicky Lopez as the other bats on the bench for the 9th inning.
Are they going to pinch hit for?
I mean, I would assume they're hitting for Maldonado.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Are you sure?
Well, Sosa would be the big one.
They've not had a problem with doing it, even when Lee's DH. They're like,
but will they pinch it for Sosa? Like, there's a case of just managerial trust.
That's a question.
Right.
And they might go lefty righty there, which would be hilarious if they put Lopez in.
Well, going to the top of the 9th inning as I get caught up watching this TV commercial for the London series between the Mets and the Phillies. Jim, we're hoping that you'll be in Birmingham for the Rickwood Classic in a couple of weeks.
Yep. I'm hoping to get to Knoxville on Saturday to see Noah Schultz against double-A hitters. Do the 3-hour drive. I think right now he's piggybacking with Mason Adams of the schedule hold, so 2 pitchers I want to see in the same day.
Lucky for us, we'll be at the stadium watching the White Sox and Red Sox, Beefloaf and Treasy.
You're darn right we are.
I'll be having a good time. We got plenty of pilot project brewing beer available before the game, Josh, just so you know.
Oh, I'm aware. I, too, also have plenty of beer. Sean's asking, are we sending Fegan to London for Sox machine representation? You know what? It's not in the budget this year. But you can go to patreon.com/Sox Machine to help us out and make that happen. Bears will be in London against the
That's
Jaguars.
that's a I think the Bears are going to have a pretty interesting season of coverage this year because they got Hard Knocks and then they've got the London game, so it should be pretty cool.
Nugget of the game, Mike Olt.
Yes.
He's my immaculate grid answer for White Sox, Cubs, Rangers.
Unbelievable. Yeah, Mike Olt. I remember that home run.
Didn't he have kind of like a serious vision problem or something, Michael?
It wouldn't surprise me. That's a thing with the White Sox. Eye tests in this economy. All right, Lenine Sosa's had a good day today.
Yeah,
Sosa's
Neris actually has reverse splits this year, so Sosa gets hit for himself.
Sosa's 2 for 2 with a walk, and one of those hits was a big home run. As he
That was a big home run swing.
He's feeling himself. He's having a good night.
Yeah, that was the A swing for first strike.
He's down 1-2 in the count. Let's find a way on base, Lenine.
Nope. That's beefy.
There you go, Lenine. Get down.
Oh, right in.
Man.
Yeah.
He smoked it at least.
Good at bat though. Like
Yeah. Well
he's
hit
in the
by
lineup
Lenine.
next day.
Yeah. 107.2 miles per hour on that line drive out for Lenine Sosa.
Yeah, very nice game for Sosa.
At least he's hitting the ball hard. I mean, like
Yeah.
I would love to be wrong about Lenine Sosa. That would be.
That's the one that he does. He does hit the ball hard. It's just, the plate appearances where he does.
Guessing this is because there's a pinch hitter. They're not showing.
I mean, I can't
Yeah,
imagine they're letting Maldonado
I
hit.
think it's Colas.
Corey Lee catches if that's the question in the.
This is great television.
They lose their DH.
I can't believe Colas forced a mound visit. That's impressive.
It's yeah, it's been a long time without. There you go. Thank you. It's like I'm not telling anybody who's actually hitting.
What's happening, right?
They didn't know who Colas was, so they just didn't want to have to say it. They're like, put some graphics up. I don't know who this guy is.
It was like the last couple of years of Farmio, man. You listen for a half hour, you wouldn't know what was going on.
No kidding.
I love Farmio though. But yeah, it was something.
Yeah, there's an article, I think it was a Van Scout article talking about how Casper and DJ sound better than ever. And it's like a pointed, just in case you have, tired of Schriffen, but Casper said like, yeah, it's, great doing comedy. You say yes and, no.
Get
Stay
in
fair.
But Casper said, yeah, he's always good for yes and it's just funny because with like a Farmer and DJ was the opposite, just like no. Not no buts. It was just like no. Just so you think it was a fastball? No. Hey, what do you think about this goofy idea? No. just constant shutdowns.
Good eye from Colas.
Colas.
Evens the count 2-2. 3-2. All
right.
right.
Here's my guy, Corey Jokes. Just get on for Corey.
ready.
Let's go. He'll save the day.
Yes.
Ready.
Trey, when is the next watch party? We will let you know. We have to get a report back. And we got a West Coast road trip coming up, Seattle and Arizona. Those make it a little difficult with the watch parties.
Yeah.
Get foul.
It's battling. Yeah, Neris has reverse splits because of his splitter. So, but all the White Sox have on the bench is lefties. So, not a great matchup for anybody.
No, but I appreciate the guys, your feedback, and I'll be asking for more feedback if you missed the beginning part of this watch party. Really appreciate the positive feedback, guys. Thank you. Yeah, looking ahead next Saturday, 9:10 start. Hey, walk.
Hey.
It's a sassy walk.
Boy, Oscar.
Sosa and Colas walked in the same game. You don't win this. You don't win this. You wasted the game.
Yep.
What's hilarious is I was looking to my left out the window, and somebody launched fireworks at the same time Colas walked. It was just like the stadium just launched fireworks.
Here we go.
Oh, here he comes.
Duke Ellis time.
Yes.
There he is.
Go, Duke.
That is
Now, also
one-
watching him in person, his
God.
legs are like sticks.
dude,
Like,
skinny dude.
yeah.
Huh?
Oh, he's got the big sliding mitt too. It's a nice blue one. I like that.
I mean, he's going.
Yeah.
God, he is all leg.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, it's
What is he, a 28-inch waist?
no, that's no throw.
Oh,
No bottom.
wow.
That was like a 4-step jump.
Right, Jim. I was like, oh, goodness. That was close.
Steal third on that. Like it's
We're gonna need him to steal all the bases.
Well, hey, that's useful right there. That's very useful.
All right, go steal third. We need you at third. Come on. You might have to steal home. Let's go. Need to Willie Mays Hayes this inning. Yes.
That'd be helpful. Way more useful than carrying Remillard. Yes, it is. Yes, appears that way.
just get a Zach Duke jersey. Find one on eBay and save.
There you go.
Duke Ellis suddenly a fan favorite.
Someone did something well.
Oh my god.
Dukelicious. Or Duke-tastrophe. That's the spectrum of Duke.
Wasn't one of the characters in the Critic named Duke?
Yeah, that's the quote. Yeah, that was the Duke Phillips statue who said, "All hail Duke. Duke is life." Until he swallowed a bird.
All right, come on, Corey.
Somebody looked at DH
Yes.
Gates for a Duke Ellis
They're
jersey.
out there looking for it. I love it.
All right. Come on, Corey.
He steals third right here. He's instantly the third most popular White Sox. Oh shoot!
He gets
There you
picked.
go.
Yep.
Oh, he got picked off. No, Duke.
Jim.
Duke, no. No, it's over. His career's over.
Review it. Review it no matter
Good
what.
time, yeah. Oh goodness.
Are they going to challenge it?
They challenged
See-
it. He's
No,
out.
he's not even on the.
Yeah, he's not on the base.
He's out, but you
Yeah,
got to
he's
challenge
out.
it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man.
Wow.
Woo! That was a Duke-tastrophe.
It was exciting, at least.
What a roller coaster of emotions. And after review, the guy was really out. Really out.
They were laughing when they got off the thing. They're like, yeah, that's good swim move, but yeah, he still was nowhere near the bag.
They tagged you right in your tiny waist.
Well,
Electric debut, yeah. It was.
I guess that could be a clip if you need one.
yeah, I did. Yeah. We won't have the video, but we have the audio. So I'll have to find the video and pair it together. Or just that could be my new soundbite. Dude, no!
Or
No!
the word of you get the word of warning. The
Not gonna get out of it.
might get picked
this
off, and then 5 minutes later,
is over. So the White Sox losing streak extends to 12 games. I am going to mute the
goofy
at least
song?
my stream. I'm not going to hear that damn song.
Yeah, agreed.
So the White Sox up 5-0 and lose 7-6 in a very expected, spectacular fashion. Oh, so much happened in this game, and it's just another loss for the White Sox. With that said, as we always wrap up with our watch parties, our one last thing, Beef, I will start with you. What's your one last takeaway from tonight's game?
I mean, the patch together bullpen stinks as bad as the super bullpen. That's kind of what it's been lately. It's just watching them come out there, blow leads. It's very depressing.
Yeah, it is depressing. Treasy, how about you? What's your big takeaway?
Luis Robert is back, and I'm going to go watch some Star Wars now.
Yeah, Luis Robert had a big home run that gave the White Sox a 6-5 lead, and they couldn't hold it. Jim, your takeaway?
wide open roster, like a case where just hot games or terrible games can, basically make or break the rest of your season. So Lenine Sosa, making hay with this opportunity. Duke Ellis, not so much. Kind of the duality of the fringe man experience there.
Yeah. What a great night for Duke Ellis. Hey, he's in the majors though, so healthcare for life. Good for him. My takeaway is thank you guys so much again for joining us for this watch party. I hope it was as entertaining for you guys to listen and watch along with us as it was to partake in this again. We'll let you know when the next watch party is and what the feedback that we get from playback, but we would love to hear your guys' feedback as well. You could reach out to us on Twitter. We're at Sox Machine. We're at From the 108. You can also follow our individual accounts. Beef Loaf is still at Mr. Delicious 13, which is
You bet your
so
arse I am.
ridiculous. So ridiculous. You can follow Terezy at Terezy, and you can follow me at Sox Machine _Josh. But alongside our friends from the 108, Beef Loaf and Terezy, and Jim Margulis of Sox Machine, I'm Josh Nelson. Thank you so much for participating in the Sox Machine from the 108 watch party, and we will see you guys soon.